And with that, welcome everybody to our very first stream here on Mixer, our first official stream. I'm gonna be joined by a very famous person, if you guys can say so. It's gonna be Twinaria, also known as Twin, one of our admins and co-owner of Connecting Esports. Welcome, Twin.
Hi guys, what's up?
So basically, as you guys know, today is going to be the first day of the TG League. We're going to be looking at the TG Diamond League. Definitely a lot of interesting games and very interesting teams. Some comebacks of teams that we already have seen in previous tournaments, and as well a lot of familiar faces around our viewership and community. So make sure to tune in and follow us on every social media that you can find. Now, if you want to look at the standings and at who is going to be casting those glorious games today, I will be joined by Gwang and Sherlock. Welcome, both of you.
Hi.
Hello.
Now, Gwang, maybe for those who don't know, you can introduce yourself. Same for Sherlock.
Well, yes, I am Grang, as you already heard from Jason, our lovely admin here, and my co-caster, Sherlock.
Oh yeah, I'm Sherlock. So some of you might know me from a bunch of other leagues that I've casted previously, but I'm just a humble caster who's trying to get through the struggling of the preseason, just like every other players.
Exactly. And as you guys can see on stream, right now, you will be seeing our social media on the bottom right. Make sure to follow us everywhere. We have a Mix account, we have a Twitch account, we have a YouTube account, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we even have Twitter. And if you want to join the glorious and wonderful community, it's going to be the discord.me/connecting esports. Make sure to follow us on every social media, as well as our space in Challenger mode is going to be s/connecting esports. Now, boys, after everybody joined the stream, we are just going to be waiting for both teams to get into the game. And today we got an exciting match coming up. It's going to be actually CE Legacy, so a home team from our fellow community, facing off versus the Big Biceps team. Now, I don't know if you guys did your checkup, boys, but it's your turn to talk about them.
Well, first I would like to say that as this is the first day of the league, obviously there are some old faces, as you've mentioned previously, Jason. Legacy, we know a bunch of these players, and the thing is that we do not know how these two teams will perform, because obviously you guys haven't seen them playing yet, but also because you can't really tell how different teams have approached the preseason so far, right? The changes have been live for about more than a week, and right now things are still a bit messy. People are trying to understand how to play the map correctly, following Herald priority over Drake priority or some things. So it's going to be a really interesting match, not just for the standings and the opening of the league, but also to take a quick look at how these teams have been approaching the patch so far.
Yeah, that exactly. I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at how these games are gonna get played, what champions are gonna get picked, how you play the map. This game really is just going to set the tone that is going to come for the next 3 weeks of the group stages of the TJ Diamond League.
Yeah, and also I feel like the most determining factor for the first game is going to be how much practice did you have as a team during that about week of training, right? If you manage to play as a team, you have you have an experience that's completely different from solo queue, because in solo queue right now it's more about the best jungler in the mid game wins, or the best laner in the mid game wins. It's more focused about snowballing the mid game, an early advantage into mid game, and absolutely destroying your opponent through taking up Drakes. But we've also seen that the double herald, the amount of plating that you can get from the towers, and also the changes to laners experience can change so much to the experience of the game in pro play and 5v5 in general. So that's why it's going to be very interesting to see what's the take of these teams on this patch, because there are so much that we can see beforehand. a lot of the teams that would be bot lane oriented would have the advantage because they could level their play around the Drakes. But right now, with double Herald and also the fact that the two first Drake are kind of less interesting for some compositions, because sometimes you really want to get these to stack up Drakes instead of just getting one or two of them. So definitely you're going to see more action in the top lane, but it's also a possibility that since many teams have been used to play around the bot lane for so long, right? We've been in a bot lane oriented meta for I don't know how many years. It's just possible as well that those teams try to find another way of playing around bots.
Yeah, that is very much true. So as we're still kind of waiting on for all the players to get ready so we can get into the lobby so we can get the game going. So just playing up time a little bit here.
Yeah, we can. Everybody just bear with us as we are waiting. I think the links should be out right now.
Yeah, the link is out. You can you can
We will
guys.
join the lobby and then we make sure to let you guys see what's going on with our wonderful new overlay. Always, boys, let me know about sound, let me know about graphics, let me know about anything you guys think we need to hear. Any feedback is welcome. We will adjust the sound of the other streamers and casters, of course, right away, as well as graphics if there's anything that is not up to date or not to your pleasing. Just head over to our Discord, let me know, or in chat. I will be looking at both of these and respond to you guys in chat if these guys are talking.
All right, and as well, like I've been talking about the changes of game strategy from the preseason, but one other thing that I wanted to mention as well would be the pick and ban, the modification to pick and bans, because I feel like before preseason, the most OP picks were those that could hyperscale into the late game and had a pretty safe laning phase. We had like Kai'Sa and Xayah that were the pivotal picks of the previous patch, and right now you start to see a lot more of the mid game oriented champions come back. We've seen Sylas in solo queue making a big comeback actually, with a lot more pick rates, and Qiyana as well got more comfortable into the meta. We've also seen Akali being raised from average pick to super OP again. She had fallen down a bit with right before preseason, and now she's back at full power. So watch out for these kind of pick, the Akali, the Qiyana, and obviously the last newcomer of the league, Senna, which is to be honest really strong right now. And I think also with the changes to Conqueror, you could also see a bit more shenanigans in the mid lane, for example, with mages. I'm thinking about Cassiopeia. She's basically become the new and improved Ryze, aside from the aside from the side lane management factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that what you're gonna see here will look super different from just barely a week ago. Teams have also been experimenting a lot. I've seen some teams go run Urgot on the top lane. Gangplank has been going down the drain as well. So a lot of changes on all lanes. The jungle pool has been impacted also a lot, as right now junglers who are very good in early and mid game, and the junglers who can clear very efficiently are the ones who are the most busted right now. I'm thinking of Xin Zhao, Vi, is also very strong.
Yeah. Into the champion selection, we already have the first band coming out, Sherlock, so maybe we transition to the game and then we're going to touch on the other junglers later on as the loading screen goes on.
And right now, as I've said, Qiyana banned away straight off. We know for sure that the big biceps have been playing Kiana, so obviously you want to ban her away. Now Jarvan taken out as well in the jungle.
Yeah, that almost feels like it's a target ban. I think you could say it's the first target ban coming up. Kiana could be such a generalized pick coming up. But yeah, as for this game, CE Legacy playing on the blue side, so on your left side, and Big Biceps on your right side, banning from the red side. And Caitlyn, surprisingly, being banned out.
Yeah, Caitlyn is one of these AD carries that has a huge mid game, and the amount of lane pressure that she can give, even specifically paired with stuff like Morgana, Leona, the kind of supports that can pin someone down, she's become super annoying in the bot lane. So you want to ban her away so that you do not lose that much bot pressure. And now Riven, yet another targeted ban. Right now, Big Biceps are really focusing on denying the comfort picks of their enemy, and Legacy are trying to ban away the meta picks, the picks that prevent them from playing a specific game plan rather than making sure that their laning phase goes well.
Yeah, there's a heavy focus on the bannings coming up from Legacy side, with the Xayah also being banned with the pairs with Caitlyn. So Unknown has to dig in deep on his pool of champions.
That, and also Big Biceps have now to consider whether they ban Kai'Sa or Akali. The Ryze is finally gonna go out of the table as well. So now there's a lot of priority picks available for that first pick. You can consider Senna.
Yeah.
That's open. Legacy have been playing her, and she's really good. And that's obviously the first pick here.
Yeah, no surprise. I think if we would have run a betting pool, Senna would have had a 1-to-1 betting odds of getting first picked if left open as it was.
I am actually excited as well to see Senna for the first game. What about you?
Yeah, I'm very excited to see with the new kit that she brings. Could be paired with Illusion, get a nice little combo going at bottom lane.
Ooh, the lover duo.
Yeah. Sadly, Xayah is already banned, so we're not gonna see the lovers versus lovers. Who is the biggest lover coming this fall?
And you said that Lucian could be a possibility. I also think that paired with Leona, Lucian would make a nice duo. Senna is kind of weak against engaging champions, so I guess that Lucian is the kind of aggro AD carry you want in the early game to punish her whenever she comes to harass you. And right now we have Leona on Shen and Heimerdinger locked in. So Heimerdinger is a big surprise, but actually not that much when you consider that his turrets do give stacks of Conqueror. So Heimerdinger Conqueror is something that's crazy nuts right now. It's really good to really see those teams going for the testing, you know, going for trying new things, just taking a look at what's strong and not. Ornn also has been going back a lot in the meta because Conqueror is really good on him. Grasp is also the good old reliable, and the amount of tankiness he has, and also the gold difference he can give just in raw stat by increasing the items is so huge right now. Ornn is one of the priority picks in the top lane. It's like one of the last relevant tank in that lane.
Yeah, we're gonna see the second banning phase. It has started, and surprisingly, Azir has been banned out. Last season it was Geysir's most played, but his second most played was Heimerdinger. So,
and also, you know, the thing that I find strange is that Big Biceps have already locked Syndra, and Syndra is that kind of counter to Corki and Azir. So I'm wondering if this Syndra is with all the bans on the AD carry, that Syndra could possibly go to the bot lane.
Yes.
Is what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
And right now, the thing that's also worrying me is that you're banning away a lot of champions on the side of a lot of AD champions on the side of Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you consider actually playing Senna an AD carry? That's 4 ban.
4 AD carry bans. So whoever said last season that AD carries are weak, season 10, ban all the AD carries.
Season 10 is banning away all of the ADCs. Season 7 was the supports. Right now is the ADC. So it looks like...
Yeah.
Okay, Corki. So we're definitely having some shenanigans in that bot lane. Could be the Syndra, because I do not think that Corki might do that well into Senna.
No,
Actually?
I wouldn't think so either. I think it makes sense if to send Syndra to
Well,
the bottom lane.
You do have the Q that gives you true vision, true sight on Senna when she's under her E, but I'm not quite sure that this is enough to send Corki down the bottom lane. Usually Corki is that one champion you like to funnel gold into, and mid lane fits him a bit better since you can really farm big time and have the Valkyrie to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
But now it's gonna be Syndra locked in as support and Olaf jungle.
Zyra actually.
Yeah, Zyra. Paired with Senna, that makes for a big poking bot lane. So it's definitely gonna be a Senna AD carry here. And that's a very interesting matchup lineup to start that first week. And finally, the jungler of Big Biceps is gonna be Rek'Sai. So yeah, some of those picks we haven't seen in a long time in amateur and pro play. I think about the Ornn, the Zyra.
Yes. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Zyra I think is the one that's been the most could say overlooked perhaps in the past. Not many teams have been picking her. I think she's very squishy early on. You could repunish her on the laning phase.
That and also the fact that all of these AD carries being banned means that Zyra, you can make sure that she doesn't get out traded into like, because if you like, there's no way that you are not able to dictate the fights when you are playing Senna and Zyra against Leona and Syndra, because the enemy team doesn't have sustained DPS. They have a fair amount of burst in the early lane phase with the Syndra Leona combo, but the only way you can tag a trade is if you manage to land the Scatter of the Week or the Zenith Blade. And for that to happen with Senna and Zyra, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna get poked down a lot, and it's gonna rely onto your jungler to give you a big amount of help. And speaking of the junglers, I've said that junglers were even more early to mid-game oriented as ever, and that the popular junglers right now were the ones who had a very efficient clear. Olaf and Rek'Sai do fall in that category. So these two guys, especially Olaf, are very popular junglers right now. And in a team composition, Rek'Sai and Olaf have been very popular in the past as well, and that hasn't changed. The preseason changes have just reinforced the impact of those guys. Thinking that especially Olaf, in that composition, where basically it all revolves around Senna, Heimerdinger, and playing the side lanes, this comp is very reliant on having someone to carry them through the early game, and Olaf is just going to do exactly that. You cannot take any risk of starting a fight if Olaf is nearby. So early game is going to be dictated by those two junglers, since there are no picks that can really make a difference on the map in the few early levels. And because of that, it means that these two teams will really try to play towards their own objective. A jungle-paced game will be set around progressing to the objective you set yourself in the game. And that means if one of the team decides to play for the Drake and the other decides to play for the Herald, we're going to have a split game or whatever. So we're definitely going to be able to see what these two teams have in mind in terms of playing the game right now.
I'm gonna see it's 30 seconds to go. We're gonna get into the first game of Connecting Esports DJ Diamond League. And with the team comes of Shen, Beanbag, Keep Layer on the top lane, Technocrat with Olaf in the jungle, Geysir with his signature Heimerdinger, Unforgiven and No Real Life with Senna and Syra on side of Legacy. And on Big Biceps, Liam on Ornn, forthcoming on Rek'Sai, Mickey JD on Corki, and Unknown and Pooh IRL with Syndra and Leona. And almost perfect timing, we're gonna get into the loading screen. And the first thing I think you are gonna go spot is the Keystone Masteries.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at those keystones, especially the Heimerdinger one that I've been saying that Conqueror was great on him, so we're gonna see.
No Conqueror.
No Conqueror? The guy is running Comets. Olaf is the one running Conqueror though. Senna has opted for the Dark Harvest as well. Something you have to mention. And yeah, the rest seems quite standard as well. Ornn has opted for the Grasp into the Shen, so obviously a bit of a wiser decision, considering Shen has huge base damage in the early game as well. You do not play Ornn to dominate, you just play Ornn to hold your matchup, and if it's a tank matchup, it doesn't matter if you go Conqueror or not, because you're not going to kill him, so might as well take Grasp, stack some tankiness, and with that runestone, with the keystone, you will also be able to hold the matchup a bit better, hope to get the pressure more efficiently on that top lane. And if that team wants to play for the Herald, they will have an easier time, as the two teams are laying down some pretty standard covers.
Yeah, drawing the battle line start, as I like to dub it. I think it's a very fitting term. It's a nice little line in the middle.
Yeah.
Also, I added that since the new support items also being picked up, so the usual spell Thief's Edge for Syra, but the new item still short guards for Leona, which is it's basically the relic shield.
Yeah, some kind of relic shield that gives you a teeny tiny bit of AD as well. Just nice for the trades, giving you some bonus stats that the Targon didn't have, some base offensive stat that the Targon didn't have. Heimerdinger already being obnoxious to our Corki friend here in the mid lane.
Yeah, I actually just quickly wanna put your focus onto the support item of Leona. So, is it a helmet or? Oh, we'll see. A little bit dragon.
Well, it does look like a helmet, but it's actually a shoulder guard for the.
Yeah, it's called shoulder guards. That's like naming your hat shirt. It's the little things that get to me.
Yeah, sometimes the shape of the items are pretty tricky, and with the I like also to mention that just a quick thing about the jungle pathing right there. So Rek'Sai has gone from red to Krogs and is now moving on to the Raptors. This is standard full clear route, and you have to consider the fact that right now, hold on, just take a look at how Senna can be obnoxious on the lane, pressuring and poking. And with the max health damages, she's doing also very good into tankier supports. So yeah, as I wanted to mention, right now jungle clearing can give you level 3 with any quadrant of the jungle. So that's why Rek'Sai is currently level 3 with just 3 camps, and also the jungle respawn timers have been lowered as well. Gank in the mid lane.
Yeah, Geysir, nice dodge on the knockup, almost killing Rek'Sai in the process. That gank almost went sour really bad quickly for Big Biceps.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage from the Heimerdinger. If the two champions do not commit fast enough on that little yordle, you expose yourself to killing range, right? Because if you do not commit at S2, you're not going to split the damages from the turret, and you can just see how Rek'Sai's health bar went down really fast.
Yeah, and with that, Rek'Sai was forced for recall. There was an invade onto the blue buff from the Connecting Esports Legacy team, and they were gonna steal away the blue buff for Olaf.
And right now, the legacy bot lane in the river already making work of that pressure they have. It's enough to secure the scuttler for the jungle. It's really nice for them to. It's really nice for them to see how well they use this pressure, because sometimes there are teams who have the pressure but do nothing of it, and it's kind of a waste. And since you've picked your composition around bot pressure, seeing you use them is actually a confident sign of you're able to execute on your win condition. And right now, Olaf's coming to the top lane.
Yeah, first proper gank coming up. Liam is in a lot of trouble. I think he knows he's dead. Olaf is gonna pick up the first blood.
And just as the top lane fall, you can see in the bot lane, there's nothing to do. The Leona cannot even tag. Look at that. The two members of Legacy are full life, and the two bot laners on the enemy team are half health almost. And right now, Rek'Sai is hiding that bush. So
It is
she's sitting
worth
on a
though.
bush on a wall right now.
Yeah.
Obviously not gonna get that gank off. But something you have to know is that now with those small alcoves on the side of the lane. Oh, cancel the recall.
Yeah, it was.
Lots of time wasted here.
Yeah, I think it is a very successful operation on the side of Unforgiven and No Real Life, just wasting time for Rek'Sai.
And it was a good try actually, because as I was about to point, you can go from the bush to the alcove without being seen if the lane is pushed about the middle of the lane.
Yeah.
Also, so that could have been an actual good gank if it weren't for the ward, and that ward could have been predicted, because right now with the bot lane having 3 bushes, the bush control is even more important. And since there are so many bushes in the bot lane, you have to pick one of them to ward. And obviously, since they are the one having the pressure, Legacy just has to ward the furthest bush on the lane. So, if you are Rek'Sai, you should look towards getting off more traditional ganks rather than going for that kind of lane gank, because if you do not have the control of those bushes, you're never gonna get a gank off.
Yeah, so still that now on the side of Big Biceps are. They were invading, but it's not only the Rek'Sai that's invading onto the blue bar. He's gonna steal that away, but on the mean side,
The Drake's
Dragon.
on.
I think that's a fair trade. Blue buff for Dragon, for the side of Legacy.
And you also have to point out that this is the Cloud Drake. So it's not going to be very impactful with that composition. Let's say that Shen is the most important champion to benefit from this Drake.
Yeah.
10% of his Stun United are really huge at any
Every
stage
game.
of the game, actually. The thing is that the Cloud Drake is really strong on champions that whenever their ultimate is on cooldown, it means there's a window for the enemy team. I'm thinking of Morgana, Shen, Karthus, like the kind of champion that whenever you know that his ultimate is on cooldown, you play around that specifically. Nocturne also falls into that category. So having Cloud Drake and a Shen is also very good for them, and that Drake is only gonna have some impact if Shen is actually building up to 40% CDR. The thing is that he's a tank, so that doesn't mean much until the late game, where he's gonna have like 4 or 5 items, and at least some of them give him CDR. He can also go for the Iceborne Gauntlet, but that would be kind of a waste of stats, especially given how the enemy carries are AP heavy or magic heavy carries, right?
Yeah. Yeah, see, another attempt for an engage from Pooh, but just can't get in range of the Cineblade. Unforgiven and No Real Life are playing really well, playing the distance.
Meanwhile, you can see the 2 mid laners roaming around into the river.
Yeah.
Olaf has actually started the Rift Herald, and now Shen is going in. Ornn isn't here.
Yeah, there's the taunt onto the Rek'Sai, focuses at jungler, and he's dead. And the Stand United is going to give a nice shield to Olaf to just make sure he does not go down on that fight. And that is the Rift Herald now for Legacy's side as well.
And that's a wonderful operation for for connecting esports Legacy. These guys have the Rift Herald at 9 minutes, so this means there's going to be another one respawning soon. And now you can just open one of the lanes on the map with that one, at least try to. But since you know your jungler is Olaf, so he's basically going to take down those towers really fast. You bet that it's at least going to be a tier 1, or at least going to be 3 or 4 plates on their side from that.
Mm-hmm.
And well, taking a lot of damages, but just going to use the Searing Charge away. And yeah, just 1 kill onto the Heimerdinger. Look at his inventory. He has the Lost Chapter, he has the Sorcerer's Boots already, and also a nice stopwatch to keep him safe while his turrets do the work. So this Legacy is sitting in a very happy position right now. If you take a look also, like, the advantage is almost everywhere, while it's just barely 1k and a half. Take a look at the jungle. Olaf is 1 level above the Rek'Sai, and 3 jungle camps ahead. Mid lane as well, you have some CS discrepancy with add the kill on top of that, and also the top lane as well.
Oh! Jacer just deletes Mickey off the Rift, as now Forthcoming has come in for a gank, forces the flashes out. Nice plans are gonna keep a knock up. So Leona is all alone, and the heal from Unforgiven is gonna make sure No Real Life does not die. But now it's Biceps that are on the run. Keylander has also joined the fight with the teleport, but don't think he can get the range on the Glacier. He's gonna get the blast gun. He does not get the stun, but he does get the kill on the Forthcoming. That's already 3 kills. And now the mid lane auto turret as well.
And look how the pace of the game is accelerating right there. They got they had 2 kills in the Herald. Now it's 1 tower down. It's 2 more kills under the bag. Just look at Dazir. That man is doing so much for the team. Roaming into the river whenever his jungler needs help, helping his team securing the Drake, the Herald, getting the tier 1 tower as well. Now you can see how that man is doing a lot. And it's actually the work of many. You can see how this team is playing coordinated. They know what they want. They know that what they want is the Heimerdinger to start carrying that game, and Senna is just here for the late game insurance. Now Syndra is TPing bot lane for the Drake that's upcoming, and Legacy seems to be late on it.
Yeah, it was Forthcoming who delayed his recall just to get onto the Drake pit to start it out, but now rest of Legacy are here. Olaf has come in, he's wanted to fight, he kills the jungler first, and then gets the Mountain Dragon now. Rek'Sai already fallen, and looks like Big Biceps are just looking to run away. Mickey uses the Valkyrie as well to get away, and now the Ocean Dragon influence is shown on the map.
I love the ocean elemental rift. It's so nice to the eye.
It's lovely. It's a nice garden.
Okay, so someone just told me that with the new Drake overlay, you actually cannot see the Drakes of the teams on the spectator mode. Hold on, there's some action.
Whoa, great 3-man knockout coming from Liam, but he's still going to fall as Legacy just outmember that fight. That was a 3v fight that Biceps took.
Yeah, there's sadly no backup at all for him, so he cannot do anything, and he just have to die and watch his second tier 1 turret for this game. And just do remember that we are 30 seconds away from the fall of platings, so that last tier 1 top tower is going to be even more squishy. And do remember that another Rift Herald is soon to spawn in 1 minute and a half. That's how scary this mid game is gonna be. You know that you're already behind, but now the Legacy team, they have a Mountain Dragon and a Cloud Dragon, and the Mountain is really good on the when you're on the winning side, because those 8% armor and magic resistance, they somehow allow you to dive. They allow for your team to respond in case one of the members gets caught, or if like in team fights or stuff. So basically, it's the same reason as to why you buy a GA or Zonia, is that you have the advantage, and in order to keep that advantage, you want more survivability. So the Mountain Dragon is also very good. And right now with Shen, Olaf, you can bet that Heimerdinger is gonna be building a Zonia sometime as well. These guys are very happy with the situation, and it's not even bonus armor and magic resistance. It's base.
That I felt that.
Luden Zeko, everybody. 4-0-1 Heimerdinger. That stings.
Yeah, it just shows how far behind Forthcoming has fallen. It's not really his fault. He's been trying to make the plays, but sadly, it just hasn't gone his way.
And just like a nail in the coffin, Legacy is now trying to do the second Rift Herald. You can also see the range of Unforgiven right now. It's huge. That guy, just let me check actually how many souls this guy has. He's sitting on 33, so he just has the 25 bonus range. So maybe the Rift Herald size has tricked my eyes, but it does already look like he has a very decent range. That champion's gonna get nerfed pretty soon, to be honest.
Yeah, and I believe for the second game, I think Biceps are going to be banning. Could be banning out. They're playing on the blue side for the next game, so might be leaving it open or banning out on the red side. But we'll have to see once that lobby comes our way. But yeah, now the top lane turret is being pressured. That is going to fall. That is the last auto turret from Biceps now fallen.
And now that all three are gone, you know that the line of defense is backing up. You also know that the enemies are going to be investing your jungle, and with the ocean trait on the map, all of those brushes suddenly became wider. There's even less space for you to navigate and to clearly see in your own jungle. It's making the transitions between the side lanes and the mid lane even more dangerous when you are on Big Bicep side. You have to keep your warding game on point with where you want to play on the map, and with the next rake spawning in 30 seconds, taking a look at the map, it looks completely dark for both teams on the bottom side.
Yeah, I think there's a one ward from Biceps on their own jungle, but that's pretty much it. Got some there on next to the dragon pit as well, but minus that, it is very dark.
Yeah, right now making sure to get the vision all around that river, so that you can play safely. And also, the team that you do not want to face check is the Legacy team, right? You have that big chunky Olaf. You have the Shen with the Sane United as well, who can join in anytime soon. So you know that any cash you make, first, the cash is going to be harder to make because of the Mountain Drake, but also because you have the Sane United right behind, in case you still manage to get the enemy low. So it's really gonna be scary. Also, speaking of the Senna ultimate that can shield the allies across the map, it does mean that you really have to commit on any catch you make, on any opportunity you have as big biceps to come back into the game, or else you're just gonna get yourself into a team fight without actually having number advantage.
Yeah, Rek'Sai wants this fight, but with only Corki there, he manages to get away with the Ignite still burning on him, but that's not gonna secure the kill. But it just shows that Biceps cannot move alone in the jungle.
And that Corki at 18 minutes still doesn't have his Triforce completed.
Oof.
This is feeling really bad for Biceps. Miku Deity, he wants to carry his team, but how can he? There's just no resources from him all around the map. You take a look at the side lane, you expose yourself to the Shen, who can easily burst out an underfed carry as Corki. And basically any situation you're feeling unsafe because of the amount of damage that the enemy team has at this point in their game. And also because, you know, Senna ultimate, Shen ultimate, it does mean that you have to commit as a team. So Corki's not allowed to go on the side lane safely. And if he goes in the mid lane, you still have Senna and Zyra who kind of outrange you and have heavy poke that you can't really dodge as Corki. So obviously that guy is not having the greatest of time. Now 20 minutes hitting, Triforce completed.
Oh, well, I think it's just positive. You can't burst the horn, so you gotta, at this point for Biceps, you gotta look at the positives. At least Horn didn't get bursted.
Yeah, your own doesn't get bursted down. He's the tank, so obviously, if it wasn't the case, you'd have to worry.
Yeah, you'd be. I think Geyser would have been very surprised if he got the kill with the ultimate missiles coming out. So, wait, I just killed Horn.
Yeah, he does have his Luden's Echo, but he's not that fed already. Or by the way, he's soon gonna be hitting the 13 level threshold, at which point he can level up his allies' items. And right now, I do believe that the Triforce can be enhanced. I also think that Leona is going for an Iron Solari, which can be enhanced as well. So he will have some master work to do in a few time, but not here yet.
What?
And Zyra face checking the Corki might actually die.
Yeah,
No, Corki doesn't decide to go on.
Yeah, if you want to find someone in the jungle, it is the squishy Zyra that you want to find, because at this point he is the most realistic target that they could kill.
Yeah, Corki giving some respect to the Shen, to the Senna damages as well. Fully aware of what the enemy lineup can do. And you can see right now the Baron has now spawned has been alive for the last minute and a half, and these two teams are really trying to open up the map to make some room for that play.
Yeah, Dragon is also spawning in 55 seconds. This is going to be another Ocean as well, so I think Legacy have set the targets onto that one.
Yeah, so the way that Dragon spawn is working right now, I'm not entirely sure about that, but I do believe that the third Drake is from a different type as the first two.
Yeah.
According to the League of Legends wiki, at least, and my experience in solo queue. This is the classic strategy of the Blast Cone turrets. And you can see how the Ocean trait is actually allowing for that. Look at that! Look at that!
Surprise turret party comes in, and it's Zyra that is gonna pick up the kill onto.
Just like we mentioned before, you cannot even enter the jungle now because of the Elemental Rift trait. You are behind. You do not have the right to walk in because there's so much dead spots. There's so much blind spots all around your own jungle that just roaming around to go to your bot lane, even taking the safe path, is actually dangerous.
It's raining turrets. Hallelujah.
Oh my. This is gonna be really complicated now. The Ocean Drake is gonna give even more survivability to the members of Legacy. Now, Legacy, they want to accelerate this game a bit. I feel like they did a wonderful job in the early game, but right now it's coming up to the mid game. We're at 23 minutes, and it kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of looks like they have slowed down a lot. I feel like
Yeah.
they could have forced a push or towers. They are really focusing on. They are really focusing on getting the these neutral objectives. And right now, I feel like this game is actually gonna get finished through maybe the Elder or the Baron, whenever it spawns.
Spawns in 4 minutes 50 seconds.
Because they already have the Ocean Sword, actually.
Yeah, Baron gets started right away. There's no vision. He gets pinged now,
Rek'Sai
but
is above.
yeah, Rek'Sai is there, Ornn is there, but that's about it. So it's gonna be a miracle still coming for forthcoming if he can get in. Gets the warning, gets it to the K health, he goes in! Oh, but he gets slain at 900 HP.
The window was just way too small for the forthcoming to actually do anything, and now it's gonna be CE Legacy pushing forward with 4 members into that top lane. There's nothing that can stand in their way right now with the Heimerdinger, the Senna, the Zyra. Look at all of the items, Muramana and Duskblade completing on the Senna, and you also have the Shen that's here in backup with the Sen United. So it's not really 4v5, it's 5v5 as well. Shen is also pushing in the mid lane, taking out the tier 2 tower in the meantime. What you need to find something now.
Oh, I was thinking, Corky, you're gonna not step into that brush. He's playing safe. He's farming. I think he's ahead in CS, but that's about it going for Mickey on his Corky. But yeah, now the inner turret on the top lane and the mid lane have fallen. And looks like Legacy are targeting that bottom lane inner turret now.
Even being just slightly ahead in CS and having the rapid fire cannon and the Triforce completed is not going to be enough for you to carry a team fight when, for example, the Rek'Sai is 4 level behind the mid laner. Look at that, 3 level behind the Olaf. As I said before, the jungle snowball in the mid game is crazy insane. The removal of catch-up experience has to be a little for that kind of snowball. Now, Ornn cannot even deny the enemy team to attack him.
Ooh, yeah, Jaysir, this be confident, gets knocked back by the Sky of the Week, but now Unknown with the Flash Taunt, he's gonna get the kill.
And now Olaf also getting bullied, there's nothing that they can do. They just have to watch as Legacy's taking down the base tower after tower.
Could this be Legacy going for a perfect game? 10-0, 0 turrets taken from the biceps.
Yeah, this is like a very perfect game. And it could have been even more perfect with if they managed to get the tier 1 top tower down before the 14-minute mark. But what do you know? This isn't a pro league, professional league, so it's still very impressive of a performance. Champions like Heimerdinger, Zyra. This is a very interesting combo, but seeing how they managed to make it work in such a dominant fashion is very, very impressive.
Yeah, Legacy is really shining really on this game. It's not really a great team. It's not a team that gets kills all the time. It's how they play the lead. They show cautiousness on some situations. They play smart. I think it's a perfect analogy. Biceps are playing with strength and Legacy is playing with their brains. Yeah. I'm not saying that like completely, disrespecting Biceps, but it's an analogy. It's in the name.
Biceps trying to find something back into the game with a catch on that Shen.
Oh, could it be? It's actually Shen who is looking to turn it onto the Rek'Sai. He's very squishy. There comes the
just
Johnny
so-
Shadow. He gets a shield now, and he's fighting 2v3. There's nothing they can do. Leona is gonna go down. Keyrader is gonna get the kill. And
And Shen actually manages to pull off the 1v3. No, Miku!
oh, it's burning. The axe does not connect, and he gets to the fountain in time. First Nexus turret has fallen. There's still 2 turrets left on this game from the biceps. Shen is pushing up on the inhibitor turret on the top
Oh.
lane.
He was
Where's
rooted!
Oh, it doesn't get the knock-up on his ultimate, and that is looking like it's gonna be a game for Legacy. They're hitting out on the Nexus. It's gonna go down. It's so close to a perfect game. They just missed the top lane turrets.
Oh my, I think we can still give them the perfect game. Because they really are the better team right now. These guys have been showing wonderful map rotations all around and any time during the game. They have been playing according to their jungler, and I said that this game was going to be paced by the jungler, and Legacy played according to the side of the map Olaf was on. Always, Heimerdinger rotating towards the river whenever his jungler needed his help. This was really well done by Legacy, well executed. They drafted a composition that needed to pace the game early with the Olaf, and have the use the bot pressure that the Senna Zyra duo created, and they just did perfectly that. Getting Senna Zyra bot. They took the first tower. They took one tower mid with the Herald, and then they took the bot lane tower with Senna and Zyra. Sent Senna Zyra mid, got another Drake, sent Senna Zyra top, and repeating in a repeating process. That was kind of a standard gameplay, I would say, but they just did it so well and so beautiful. It just gives me confidence for what these guys are going to do in the following days of the league.
Yeah, it really does. And I just want to point this out. So they got 11 kills as a team. Keyblade, Technocraft, and Glacier are all on 11k gold as well. So it's a nice little 11, 11, 11, 11, 11.
Yeah, also, especially considering how Olaf, the jungler, is also at 11k gold. So he's actually almost top gold right behind the Shen. I guess that's
yeah,
all the-
sorry to just cut you off, but when a game where the top lane Shen gets the most gold in a game, I like that very much.
Yeah, and with that, that was game number 1, a very explosive one from one side at least. This was a interesting game to watch. I think a perfect game to start the series with. Now we're gonna be waiting for the game number 2. Let's actually go to the next lobby. I think if these guys are ready, we can go into the next game, and I hope that's gonna be even more an explosive one. Of course, I am neutral when I'm on stream, but deep down, I am having a heart that is beating for CE Legacy. These guys are training for a lot of time already, I think. I can give some insight on this. I think it's gonna be like 1 to 2 months already that these guys are together training in this lineup, and they're also looking to go pro or semi-pro in the German league. They have to yet start the debut there, so these guys are still amateurs. They haven't competed anywhere, so these tournament is definitely a chance for them to prove themselves, and this first game looked very clean indeed. Now, Sherlock and Gwang, since this is a best of 3, can you guys actually give me a prediction now? Because now you saw what Legacy can do, but we also know Big Biceps know what Legacy can do now, and they might be able to counter it or to pull out a trump card. Nobody knows. So will you guys go for the 1-1 in the next game or the 2-0, the clean game?
Well, considering what we've just seen, my heart is really tilting in the favor of Legacy right now.
Yeah, I gotta agree. it wasn't that Biceps were playing bad or because of their picks. It's just Legacy was just seemed to be smarter in every play that they made. And I think that's something that you can't really change for a second game to it's just hard to explain. Like,
well, I do also think that maybe do not leave Senna open for the next game. Also going for full comfort ban on the side of Big Biceps might have been a mistake when there are so much powerful picks on the meta right now. Like not banning Akali, not banning away the powerful ADCs, not banning away the Senna. I would really like to see Senna banned. So
there you go.
I do believe that game lobby is full.
Yeah,
you can say that.
Yay! So yeah, as I've said, I do not I do not think that is just a problem of drafting, but also that Legacy is just a better team. Whenever you watch them play, it really feels like they play as a team and not as 5 solo queue players tagging together. And the way they did it, you can see that it's not because something strange happened, or because the draft was good, or because they were lucky, or whatever, or because they had just had one good game. It's clearly you can see that these guys know how to play as a team. They know the laners know how to act depending on the side of the map their jungler is on, depending on what their game plan is. They also know which objective they want to get whenever they enter the game, and they also know how to play according to the enemy jungler's pathing. So I do not think that Big Biceps have shown us any of these in the first game, and as Greg mentioned, this is not something you can change over the course of a best of. So I'm going to go for the 2-0.
Okay, so we got a 2-0 and a kind of a 2-0. So as we're gonna switch around the teams and the score, we're gonna be going into champion selection here with the first ban being Heimerdinger, and you guys can take it away from here.
Yeah, no surprise. The Heimerdinger from Geisher, it is really his comfort pick. His signature pick. Well, I ran out of analogies to use, but you got the point.
Yeah, and also like the two main picks of Dazzir are the Heimerdinger and the Azir, so this is why they banned it previously, but still, you have the Syndra, why ban Azir? So this time around they ban Heimerdinger. I hope they still stick to the Syndra, because it was obviously not the problem in their composition. Okay, so Raven ban again. They are really fearful towards that pick.
You know what I would like for Biceps to do here?
Tell me.
I want them to play their strength. I want them to get picks and then get like champions that are very favorable in one-on-ones on the mid lane or the top lanes, and then just power through the entire game by just getting the solo laners either the top lane or the mid lane so far ahead that you can't outthink what is essentially a mountain.
Yeah, and that kind of thing right now is only possible with early to mid game champions, because last game you had Syndra and Corki as your carries. You cannot funnel Corki and Syndra efficiently anymore. You need something to get you through the early game, and Rek'Sai is not going to do that when the enemy jungler is an Olaf. So I too would like to see a powerhouse on the side of Big Biceps being picked.
Maybe Nessus could be.
I don't think Xayah is actually the right champion, because she's doing really good in the mid game. Like, we're often comparing Xayah and Kai'Sa to be the powerhouse late game ADCs, but Xayah is more mid-game oriented that Kai'Sa is, and also, especially when paired with Rakan, she becomes one of the big bullies of the bot lane. Even more considering that Caitlyn is banned, so you do know that Xayah is going to be obnoxious as hell on that bottom lane, and with Caitlyn and Senna taken off the board, it's going to be hard to find something more threatening than that. Now Shen picked up again by Legacy. I feel like this team is really comfortable playing with Globals.
Yeah, I'll fully agree on that. As key player was not.
Yeah, it
Not
just
really
shows
missing
how
out.
much. Just shows how much like the amount of communication they have on
Yeah.
that side of the team.
And also Ash to just fill out the global lineup. Could we see the entire global team coming up? Maybe a Karthus jungle.
Yeah, we'll go with Karthus jungle. Support's gonna be Tahm Kench, and the Twisted Fate mid lane, of course.
Yeah, there we go. Easy because we figured Legacy out.
If you're listening to the stream, you know what to pick. Right now, Olaf being snatched away from.
Come on, support Timo, come on, do it.
I feel like you're enjoying this a bit too much.
Come on.
It's just trolling.
Oh!
Obviously, he's gonna go for the Rakan, or else he's gonna get banned the second ban rotation. You do want your lovely duo.
Lovers duo.
Yeah, the lovers. You were complaining that we wouldn't see these lovers in the first game. Now there you go. Big biceps.
Yeah, this time sadly it's Senna that's banned out, so we can see the Senna Lucian on the opposite end, so we don't get the lovers clash. The lovers ball.
One day, Greg. One day. And now the first batch rotation is over, so we do have the Xayah Rakan on the side of Big Biceps, and the Olaf that has caused them so much trouble in the early game. I would also think that Olaf should be a ban in this meta. That pick is way too powerful right now. It just gives you priority over the entire map. So obviously, this is one of the best pick out there. You're gonna see it a lot, actually. Just like Senna, just like Qiyana. I'm also surprised about the low priority that Akali is getting in this best of. Like, she hasn't been picked or banned at least once, and hasn't been hovered at all either. And right now, Jarvan picked in as an answer. So as you said, Technocrat is a really good Jarvan player, has played him a lot this season. I'm speaking of season 9 at least.
Yeah, I think Techno is getting some influences from outside to play Jarvan. Gonna leave that unnamed for now, but I know the person knows who they are.
Well, the two teams. Finally!
Oh, there we go. As you were talking about it, Akai gets banned out as the last ban from Legacy side of things, but what is going to be the response?
Yeah. Also, the Echo ban on the side of Big Biceps. Echo, one of the most powerful picks in solo queue, at least, right now. I'm not very sure of how well it's doing in team. But it's also, you know, the very special flex pick that you can get with Echo being able to play top, mid, and jungle. So I do think that Echo is like one of those picks that has been really underestimated at Worlds 2019.
Yeah, I think it was a contested pick on the planes, but none of the teams really got a hold of how Echo.
Yeah, the minor teams have had a couple of poor performances on the pick, and then it was just forgotten to oblivion. Now Zyra again, but this time it's got a 2016 feeling to it. Ashe, Zyra, yet another bully bot lane on the side of Legacy. Ashe and Zyra having a lot of poke, even more than Senna. The volley and the poking from the plants is just going to do just so much work to help them sustain the Xayah Rakan duo in that bot lane. It's good to see that. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I was waiting till you got to that.
Yeah, I was still looking at the Zyra. Now I'm paying attention to that Nocturne.
Eh?
Wait a minute.
Uh,
Is that Nocturne top?
Olaf top?
The thing is that the two champions could go on the lane. But I'm thinking that Olaf is just so much better at jungle than Nocturne. And Nocturne could go against the Shen. Now Garen. Oh god, this draft just keeps on giving.
Where's I need a pen.
I'm
so
gonna
I can
call
just-
Cyrus jungle, Olaf top, Nocturne mid.
So you think that's gonna be Nocturne mid?
Yes.
Could be a possibility as well. I've seen lots of Sylas mid, but it can also go top easily, especially against a Shen. It looks like the compositions are set, so it's gonna be Garen.
Mid.
Yeah, this is gonna be Garen mid against Nocturne. Oh god, I'm gonna have to admit that my knowledge of core casting are stopping right here.
Yeah, I was like, I need a pen so I can just throw it out because the script has been ignored completely.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's very interesting.
So as I've been mentioning, this is the first day of the league. So these two teams are experimenting stuff. Obviously, they are taking looks at what's good or bad in the preseason. And since it's the start of the ranking, it doesn't really matter if you lose one game at this stage. Obviously, at the later stages, every game matters. But everyone's just taking the temperature right now. So Nocturne mid has a fair amount of wave clear with his passive in the queue, and he's also doing well into matchups where he can easily use the spell shield. The thing is that Garen doesn't proc the spell shield on the E, and predicting the ultimate and the Q based on the animation of Garen requires at least the same amount of time of reaction time as the Morgana Blackshin on the Thresh and the Blitzcrank grabs. So I'm thinking that Nocturne is really skilled matchup into pretty much anything, but against Garen specifically, there's pretty much nothing that you want to spell shield that much. Like, it's gonna be hard for you to react to Garen if he walks up to you and try to block the silence with the judgment with the spell shield. Even though it does deny the damages from the auto attack, it's still like it's still really hard to pull off if he uses the judgment as a reset.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking, like, personally, I would have put that Nocturne into the Shen, because against Garen, like, Nocturne's fear on the E is so predictable. Garen's gonna have a very easy time to pop the W at the same time as the fear goes off, so that he has a reduced fear applied on him, and it's just gonna be like, oh, I'm turning around, but I'm turning back towards you again.
Yeah, and in chat, the mid laner of Big Biceps is actually letting us know that the Nocturne pick was not on purpose, it was a mistake. So he's first timing it, and he's asking for wish me luck, as you guys can see on stream right now. I'm just letting the casters know. Well, there's going to be an interesting mid game then. We're going to look at that lane a lot and hopefully have a good laugh in everybody's favor, so that nobody's going to be too salty about this. But hey, let's see how it turns out. Maybe he's going to do very well.
Or,
Okay.
as Sherrock knows, I like to overanalyze things. Maybe he said that on purpose. And then, if anyone of the Legacy team, obviously there's a 3-minute delay, so they won't get any benefits from it. But if they're like listening, they're like, okay, so he's a first time. Oh, it's just gonna go smash it off. It's gonna be a laugh. And then they go in, and it's like the #1 Nocturne player in the world. And it's like, Well, this didn't go like planned.
Well, he can't be the number one Nocturne mid in the world because that's Vidius.
Oh yeah. You gotta.
Today Riot Vidius is joining us for the stream. Actually, I think that if I tag him on Twitter saying that one of our players is playing Nocturne mid, he's gonna come over.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it. It's just.
You know, it's preseason. He has nothing to do. He wouldn't mind some Nocturne mid action.
Yeah, it's only the All Stars coming up, so like, nobody cares.
Yeah. All right, the two teams have spawned on the map. It's gonna be Big Biceps on the blue side, and Legacy on the red side. Looks like standard covers will be again.
Yeah. What's
the
it
layout
called?
for the early?
Yeah. What's it?
Oh,
What's
and
it
what
called?
was your term already?
Yes.
The Hall of Fame? I can't remember.
Drawing the battle lines. It's a very simple term. I'm gonna keep hammering it down until like season 12.
Enters the common vocabulary.
Yeah, until like season 12 Worlds is like, well, Freak is probably still gonna be casting because he's never gonna go away, and he's gonna pop up. Oh, they're drawing the battle lines, and then people are gonna go, "Oh, Freak, you're a genius." And then I'm just gonna be sour on social media. Come on.
Okay, so one of the things that I'm happy to see is that the forthcoming has laid down his ward and backed in order to get a sweeping lens. And sweeping lenses have even like that was something that was done even before the preseason, and it's something that has even more value now that you can lane gang from the alcoves. Because with the sweeping lens, you can make sure to get those lane gangs off even further.
Yeah, here we go. Here's Legacy that tried the alcove gang. But is hold on, so they tried the gang, but Real Life decided to go with the Q and not the root first if they were going for that alcove gang.
Yeah, so, a bit of an oopsie here and there from the Legacy bot lane.
I mean,
maybe getting too confident from the first game.
It could be. I mean, it's just seeing it's the second game of the Stream League, as there's a very early gang coming from Dectocrat. He's gonna get the flash knockup, but for no avail. He gets the flash from Silas, so it's flash for flash.
I say quite an important flash because remember that Shen has a lot of damages in the early game, and because of that, if you are into taunt range without flash, you really are under pressure. Right now, you can see Lilium struggling to get just those few minions in his pockets. Meanwhile, all lanes seem to be pushing in the favor of Legacy.
Yeah, minus the bottom lane. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I feel like bottom lane with a poke bot lane, they want to have the lane under their own tower, you know, because it means that the Big Biceps bot lane has to step forward in order to farm.
Ooh, dragon.
That they expose themselves to the poke. And Nocturne actually trading back a bit against the Garen.
But Garen is just gonna regenerate some of that health back, so it really is just burning the potions from Nocturne. He still has one more charge and a cookie, so I think he'll be safe.
I just will pay attention to the rune choices here. So Garen has Conqueror, obviously.
Yeah, forthcoming coming in for another gank, but he's actually looking. Geyser's gonna turn. He flashes over, but he doesn't get the kill. First blood for forthcoming.
And now Technoquad was just a bit late to the party. Joins in way too late. Now Miku Deity with a Nocturne first time, baby. Or maybe, as you mentioned, it was indeed a psychological warfare going on in the Twitch chat.
See, it's
now creating the upsets.
Yeah, see, it's great because either I'm wrong, which is something that I am very often, or that I'm right, and then I'm the smartest man in the world. So it's only beneficial for me.
The five-head PvP caster, you know.
Yeah.
Zyra
Exactly.
is still going in for some poke, denying the back timing of the big biceps bot lane. And just paying attention to where the wards are laid down in these brushes tell you a lot about how the matchup is going. You feel like this matchup right there is really back and forth because Xayah has a hard time freezing the wave, and Ashe and Zyra, they're not that much oppressive if they cannot gank efficiently.
Oh, Techno coming in for a gank onto the top lane. Looking for
Yeah.
Liam. Doesn't have flash available, so just waits until the dash gets used, but can he turn it? No, Kikulator is going to secure the kill on that top lane.
And right now,
Yeah,
with
Fort could be
Jarvan showing up on the top side of the map, that means Olaf is taking the information on around the Drake.
Well, just not started actually. Just happy to take the vision
And I
on
feel
the
like
dragon.
Olaf had a timing where he could have started that one and soloed it, but now Jarvan's gonna run straight towards the Drake, and
Yeah, I think he was worried because Biceps were pushing up the bottom lane, so he would have been exposed if he started that dragon.
yeah, you can see Legacy collapsing onto the Drake, slowly but surely.
Yeah, skipping a bay, looking for a knock-up onto Unforgiven, he pops the heal, and there's the Nocturne ulti he engages on, and they're gonna get the first kill of the series. Meanwhile, Dragon was secured, but the fight is still going. Geyser is all alone, but the Stand United also comes, and now he's alone. Can he get the kill
Oh.
back on the non? Does not look like he can, and this has just gone Biceps' way. A triple kill for that mid lane Nocturne.
And so it's going to be one Cloud Drake, but at what cost exactly? You lose you lose 3 members of your team in that fight, and now everyone's just sheeping away at the bottom tower, splitting the plates evenly among all of those members. So remember now the plates have been nerfed, so it's 20 gold per member if you're hitting S5 like this. Not really making a difference, but on the global scale, it is still four Joyce kills to 1, and right now the gold advantage in the favor of Big Biceps actually, despite the performance that we've seen before.
It really is looking a much better game. They already have 4 more kills than they got the last game.
It's also making me wonder, like, if Big Biceps can do that kind of early game, how did the last game happen? Because you know that Olaf is obviously a very strong jungler for sure, but then, even though you get outdrafted, you shouldn't be out-rotated that hard if you do have the cohesion of the team and enough communication, a sufficient amount of communication. Now, Deviant going in. Oh, the special doesn't block the combo.
Oh, yeah, that's a successful brute gang coming from Technocraft.
Wow, I'm actually surprised. I could have sworn that I've seen the animation of the spell shield go up before the. Oh, I think I get what happened there. I think
flag.
that the flag is the flag that pops the shield, and then the drag did the knockup.
Yeah, that must have been it. Because it is very hard to spell shoot a Jarvan combo because it's a damage from 3 fronts, so you gotta time it just perfectly, and he just missed that timing. But could be looking for retaliation on the bottom lane. He has ultimate up, so could be looking for engage either on the Unforgiven or real life. No, just backs off.
Yeah, I'm backing off. Just do remember that Sylas also has a Stand United this time around, so there's no actual TP advantage on the top lane. It's just, you know, just the duplicating the global of that Shen so that it's not a problem anymore as it was in game 4, but now...
Quickening was used and he tried to get the knockoff, but a flash over the wall for Unforgiven. He's gonna keep himself safe from that attempt.
Very well done by Unforgiven. You know that your team is already... I'm gonna say they are behind, but they're not really behind. It's just that they do not have tempo in that game.
Yeah.
And
I think
when you know what that team can do, you know that this is a team that is thriving to get that such kind of tempo.
Yeah, I think it's the Garen is slowing things down because Garen really gets more powerful the later he goes, so he doesn't have the same early game impact as say the Heimerdinger did the last game. So I think that is the game changer.
He doesn't have that much roaming power with Garen, but he sure has the control. Hold on.
Yes. Misses the hero's entrance, but the feathers are just too strong for the plant lady.
What a crazy amount of damage. I think that Zyra Khan is always going to surprise me no matter what, actually. Paranoia.
Ooh. Yeah, great timing on the Paranoia. But the Flash gets ready, but the stairs is shield. Oh, he turns it! And he won't even go down on that fight. What a great read from Technograph as the top laners are fighting, but the actions on the bottom lane. Enchanted Crystal Arrow gets used on the turret aggro, but it is not enough damage. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Liam had to force the Flash over the wall to get to safety.
And the Feather Storm will save Unknown's life. So I'm really surprised that Technocrat managed to flash away from the Nocturne E, because the range should have been enough to trigger it. I'm curious as to what happened right there. I do think that it's because Nocturne didn't have tier 2 boots, and Jarvan did.
Yeah, could be. As now Technical looking for forthcoming. Dazer is looking to join the fight, but will he go down? Yes, he will. But can they get a kill pack? 2 members already low, and there's the ultimate just smashing down Justice. As forthcoming goes down yet again. Oh, he's actually first time as kill later.
Wait, what?
He found the kill on the top lane. Did he? He didn't. Liam didn't recall, did he?
I do not think so. I mean, he was really low on health.
Yeah,
and
you can.
So
yeah,
near
you
his
can,
turret, there's no way you die here.
Yeah, if you can just scroll behind just to check if he had recall, because I don't think he had.
I'm gonna do that. Well,
Just-
Sylas was staying on the lane with 300 health.
Yeah,
And then Shen just
I think he got the.
just pushed in. And I think he flashed, no, didn't he? No, he just taunted him, okay, so
Yeah,
yeah. There's
yeah. So yeah, that's a mistake on Liam's part. As there's another Paranoia onto 3 members. Forthcoming is gonna get the kill onto the Zyra, looking for more. Desir is already gonna fall. That's a jump kill for the Olaf, looking for kill later. Only man surviving from that fight, and he is not able to get away. That's a clean ace with only Mickey going down on that fight. 5 for 1, and now the Ocean Dragon for biceps.
Yeah, that and yet another Drake for these guys. Now it's starting to pile up to become scary and scarier for Legacy. Also, the Rift Herald isn't doing anything, so you're really are unhappy with the situation right now if you are Legacy, because after such a wonderful, perfect game, you're pulling off a very doubtful, shaky gameplay on the second game.
Yeah, it is maybe not the fight that they would have wanted. The Crystal Arrow was not available for that fight, so that was 1 CC that was missing from that fight, but it's a solo target. Mickey got the Paranoia on the 3 members, and he got a lot of burst damage right onto the carries, and it's just game over.
And you can also notice how Garen's going for the Triforce build, so you know that against the Nocturne, who's more of the lethality kind of champion,
Yeah.
Nocturne is actually going to have a tougher time as time goes on into 1v1 against Garen, and Garen is going to be building up to be scarier and scarier. And if you consider the side lane matchup, like if you send that Garen to a side lane, who's going to deal with him? And the answer is no one, because no one's going to be able on the enemy team. There's no Berserker or Juggernaut, so you have to collapse onto that guy, right? You can't send anyone to hold a 1v1 against this man. Look at that, just running away from Nocturne's E. This shouldn't normally be possible, but this is what the champion allows with the purge of this of the slow and stuff.
Yeah, could be looking for a bit of a fight on the top lane.
Nocturne is also moving up.
Yeah,
Has the
Technocraft.
paranoia available.
No, just uses the
No
Dragon
rip,
Drive
no.
to get away. But now, yeah, it's Glacier that's a little bit caught out, gets feared, but he just spins the fear away.
Spinning the fear away.
You know, it's a life lesson. If you got fear, just spin. Ah, that's a rhyme.
I think Garen is spinning in pretty much every situation. It's like
If you're happy and you know it's do a spin.
that's your everyday Garen, man.
Yeah, I was just waiting for that Garen Chopper skin to come through.
In the meantime, if you take a look at the state of the map in general,
Oh, yeah,
Zayas isn't gonna die to the Shen this time. I hope.
no, he got away. Did not have flash available, but now it's actually the flash to be used by Shen, but he completely whiffs almost everything. And now it's Shen that is in peril. The minions could lay down. Yeah, Sulian gets the kill on the key later.
Damn, these two top laners are sure very aggressive right now, for what should have been a sleeping matchup. So yeah, as I wanted to mention, if you take a quick look at the state of the game right now, we are 16-minute mark, a second Herald is being laid down. It just shows you how much importance is given.
Oh, weakening Anhira's entrance, and Zyra is no more, as Miwa on the mid lane. Mickey is going to fall. Could be looking for more. Yes, they do get the kill, and nobody goes down on the mid lane.
And right now, it is some action going around. There's two kills on the side of Legacy, so they do find a hold onto this game 4 now, as the towers are slowly getting down one after the other on the map in the favor of Big Biceps. Now they've just taken a second tier 1 tower with their bot lane duo. So as I wanted to do, you can see that the gold gap isn't that much significant.
No.
And you can also see how the vision is spread all around the map. This game is a lot more sketchy than the one before. This time around, the teams have no clear idea of how they want to play around, and this mostly has to do with the weirdness of the picks. Like when you consider all of the globals on the map this time, you have the Paranoia, two Sten Uniteds, and you have a hefty amount of teleports on both sides.
Hmm.
So you do know that it's a bit complicated to actually do anything.
Oh. That is just Liam going, I can take this Garen on. No, I can't. As now Curator gets engaged by the fierce Olaf running with the Ragnarok, and the Paranoia comes in. Can Technocrat get the kill back? No, he can. It's a double kill for Olaf.
Oh my, and Olaf just doesn't go down. Like, it's incredible to see how much confidence Miku had in his jungler to go for the Zyra instead of going for the Jarvan as well in this play. And because of that, it does mean that a third Drake is gonna go. A second Drake is gonna go in the favor of Big Biceps here. First one going to. Yeah, third has spawned, but I do think that Legacy. Yeah, I do think that Legacy got the first one. You know, in the disastrous play where they lost 3. So obviously with one Infernal and one Ocean under their belt, these guys are not that happy, I would say, because Infernal right now is kind of meh, in the sense that from all of the stats the other Drakes give, I feel like 5% AP and AD is not that rewarding.
Yeah.
I would like also to highlight the fact that, contrary to the previous instance of the Infernal Drake, it's not bonus AP and AD, it's just raw AD and AP and AD. That does mean that champions who are not building AD and AP are still going to get at least 5 AD per Infernal Drake. It's not going to be much, it's not going to do a difference, but it's just quality of life, a small quality of life change.
Yeah.
But still, if you compare that to the resistances of the Mountain Drake that every single champion in the game utilizes, or the in-combat regen according to missing health of the Ocean Drake, and obviously the CDR on the ultimate from the Cloud, I do think that 5% APAD can be disregarded to some extent.
Yeah.
But now Infernal right now is the Elemental Rift, so that does mean that Infernals are going to spawn over and over, and there will be at least 2 other Elemental Drakes in this game. So you get a chance to stack them, at which point it becomes a bit more interesting. And right now, nothing's much happening on the map. I do feel like these two teams have no idea how to play how to force plays, or how to really accelerate their play at this stage of the game, like from 20 to 22 minutes when the Baron spawn. The map sort of freezes as the two teams are struggling to get the vision over the Baron, try to calm things down, go for an opportunity to make a catch and get the Baron.
Yeah, Goofy looking for a catch onto Glacier, but I think Stand United gets popped onto him as well. And the quickening not really connecting onto anyone. Really, and yeah, it's just both just disengage off that. But that is a big ultimate, and Crystal Arrow down and Stand United down.
Yeah, meanwhile the Stand United of the Silas is still available. And the Paranoia doesn't have that big of a cooldown anymore. I do believe that it's about 60 seconds right now. So it's soon going to be back up again, but the Crystal Arrow sure is a bigger deal. These two teams are really desperate of getting this Baron instead of playing like more standard plays that you saw a month ago, where you try to push towards the tier 2 towers, try to lure the enemy team into a jungle spot where you can catch them. But this composition with Olaf, Rakan, and Nocturne, they're not really using any of their catching tools in this situation.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. It's so actually, as there's a little bit of a slow period, I have a 2-part question for you.
Okay.
What are as Baron gets started? What are Biceps doing?
Right now, I feel like they should force something, and they have started the Baron, so it forces Legacy to react. And you can see right there, they are forcing something.
Oh, he steals it!
Ah.
No craft. He pulls off what Forthcoming attempted in game 1, and that is the Baron steal. He did not get it. He was at 900 health. He went down. But Technocraft, with the damage under his spell, uses the Catalyst to get extra damage onto the Baron, and then steals it away from under the nose of Forthcoming. They're gonna get the consolation prize of a second Infernal Drake, but that is a Baron for Legacy.
And this is really, really bad. Like, I said you needed to force things. I never said you needed to precipitate the Baron. But anyway, Technocrat manages to show up when his team needs it the most, and that I'm not going to take away any of his credit because that's if they end up winning the game, that's the hero play.
Whoa, Technograph feeling confident after the Baron steal, and now he gets himself and his AD carry killed under the inner turret.
Yeah, that's barely the Shen, the Garen, who are able to withstand the Unknown right now. You can see in his inventory, Berserker's Grace completed, Essence River and IE. This Xayah is hitting on those carries with so much AD in her raw AD in her stuff, so different from the Zeal in the inventory itemization we've seen before.
Yeah, Quickening gets used on the turret. Garen is able to get a kill on the forthcoming, but Unknown, he's gonna get the kill on the Garen back, and that is the inhibitor turret. Now gone, full legacy. They're pushing up onto the inhibitor, and they are going to get it. Crystal Arrow gets connected onto the AE carry, and the AE carry gets shut down. Extra 1,000 gold for Technocraft. Could be looking for more. I think there was a teleport used onto the mid lane by Key later. It was.
Oh,
Technocraft.
the W didn't slow. Jarvan's
Well,
W
just-
didn't slow, but he's gonna get his combo soon enough, though.
Yeah, there's another slow. Liam is gonna go down. Gets a little bit of help back. Ah, the last drag coming from Jarvan, and all of a sudden, Legacy are only 1.2k gold behind.
1.2k gold behind, and I do believe that there are still about 20 seconds of the Baron left on them. Hang on, let me check. Yeah, they're soon about to lose it, but at least they managed to do something out of it. Get a bit back into the game, even the gold gap, and also get some towers as well. Especially that tier 1 mid tower is so important to enable the Garen, to enable the Shen on the side lanes. You really want that, since that's the game you're playing since you've been playing since the 20-minute mark. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that with the infernal the infernal elemental rift is the only, in my opinion, is like, I'm gonna say that it's one of the only elemental rift that actually advantages the defending team because of the free space that you have with the walls around the buffs gone. It enables you to have more space to move around in case you want to go into your jungle to check things. Like, imagine a Nocturne uses his paranoia onto you. You can flee from a lot of directions. Your allies can come to help you faster because they don't have to go all the way around. So it really makes things harder for big biceps to snowball on their advantage when the Infernal Rift is on, especially if you're not playing side lanes a lot. Like, this composition is a catching composition. It's kind of countered by the Elemental Rift.
I think you make a very good point. On
That's
that.
a very fast attacking Damascene soldier.
Yeah, he's just gonna. He's basically throwing out those swords right now and pull it out of his rear pocket.
He needs to reload his sword. And has a Phantom Dancer. Triforce completed since a long time.
Okay.
As well. A Shen.
Calculator is just completely got out. 4-member collapse onto
Yes,
him.
It looks like Big Biceps are really struggling to play the map at that moment. The rest of the team not quite able to apply pressure on the mid lane, while the enemy team has been collapsing onto the bottom lane.
Yeah, so I was making a point earlier. I was asking what biceps are doing. What they're doing is they're flexing. They're flexing that big bicep right now as they get the knock up onto Unforgiven and follow that with the paranoia. He is dead.
And that's the kind of flexing you wanted to see. Now, do not repeat the mistake of the Baron. Zone away the Jarvan this time, because that Infernal is gonna give you the Infernal Soul, and that Infernal Soul is so much valuable. I said that Infernal itself is pretty trash, but the Infernal Soul is actually quite welcome, especially on some champions that that can proc it very easily. I'm thinking of the Xayah. ADCs, mostly with the rapid fire cannon. She's not building it, has gone for the Phantom Dancer to gain a bit more survivability, especially considering you have a Garen.
Oh, Garen is in the beat. He is spinning. He is spinning strong. He's doing a lot of damage. Stand United gets in. That's a true man. Haunt coming up. Jazer finally goes down, but he gets almost every member to very low health. Here comes the rest of Legacy, but they're already fallen. Only Zyra and Ashe surviving.
And that must be so frustrating for Legacy. The health bars have dropped so low on that team fight on the side of Big Biceps, but no one has died. I feel like the forthcoming Lilium and Pulu IRL have been hanging out with death so many times in that team fight, and yet are still alive. And now with a brand new Baron buff this time, they are doing what should have been done 5 minutes earlier, and pushing onto the base. And with the death timers, they are sure to get that.
Wow. A lot of distance being covered by Pooh on his account. Does not get anyone. But they are still pushing up strong onto those Nexus turrets now. Not just take it a smart way, they're backing off.
Yeah, they have a lot of gold on them right now. So obviously they do not want to pick up a fight here. The whole team has about 10,000 gold in their pockets, especially Olaf, who is sitting on 3k. So you do not really want to pick up a fight here. Would be trolling. Speaking of trolling,
Krista only connecting on the Olaf, who immediately Ragnaroks it away. Really, the only target. Well, I think with Nocturne you can spell show it as well with the targets that you don't want to hit. And it's also that we kind of not picked on is Unforgiven is just having a bad game. He's just been shut down. He's behind in CS. He's behind in items. He's just been not a factor in this game at all. Besides that one arrow onto Unknown.
yeah, Ashe beside the poke in the lane takes a very long time to scale compared to Xayah. Ashe is more the kind of ADC that either you get real fair in the lane and then you come out with a BRK and one item above everyone else and you hit like crazy, or you do nothing in the mid game and you just wait for late when you have 6 items to blow up the enemy team. But Xayah right now has 4 items. The Phantom Dancer complete as well. She's hitting so hard. It's really gonna be a difficult task to defend these towers, especially with the Baron buff. The base is already open, so could imagine a collapse.
Oh, there you go. They wanted to pick onto Unknown. He's still gonna go down. There's a lot of damage onto them. But will Biceps turn it? It's actually Nocturne Con under the turret. He's gonna fall. It's actually Legacy that's gonna win this fight. They're fighting off Olaf. Only man surviving. Can he get anything back? No, he can't. Almost a clean ace for Legacy. Only Unforgiven falling.
And now Garen, oh my god, I do not know how to speak from that team fight. It just left me speechless. The Shen Jarvan combo paired with the Garen going in, dealing so much damage, and these 3 guys, they are the beefy combo. If you take a look back at that team fight and watch as Dazzir was almost not losing any life from the Conqueror with the Judgment, it's so insane how much damages and they were able to deal and tank in that one team fight. And when you consider that all of the efforts of Big Biceps have been focused on Unforgiven, who died despite his stopwatch, it's really impressive how that team fight has turned out. Like, this is gonna be another chance for Legacy to get that game.
Yeah, once again, the goal to it has been substituted to 1.6k from, I think it was almost 4.5k lead they had before that fight. But it's just, still very, besides being behind, they're still showing very impressive tactics. They know when they want to fight, what fights are favorable, despite
how
being
they win
behind.
that.
Yeah.
Now, the game is about to shift pretty soon, as Elder Dragon is about to hit the rifts. And with the new Elder effects that you rarely see in solo queue these days, I am very curious to see how this is gonna impact the game, because from what I've seen, the Elder Dragon is really powerful, and it's basically the ultimate finisher of the game. Especially
Yeah.
when you have champions like Garen, for example, who can easily tear down the whole team in
Oh.
AoE, dealing damages and proccing the execution.
Okay, so on that fight, Shen used his Stand United. Cyrus is now finally teleporting from the top lane. He could have kept pushing it all the way, but he wants to be there when the fight happens. So I believe this is going to be the last fight of the game as Nocturne is caught all alone. Pops his GA. Cyrus trying to keep the rest of Biceps away. The great knock up. They finally get the kill. Now they're looking to turn. Unknown. He's been the target, but he's doing a lot of damage. Featherstorm is just raining down, and he looks like Biceps are coming up strong. Jacer, he's running away. He's the only man surviving. Can he survive? He does look like he can.
And that team fight was starting so well for Legacy, but the thing is that No Real Life died instantly in this team fight because he was left behind. He was on the back line as his team was collapsing onto the Nocturne, and the GA from Nocturne and the Feather Storm from Unknown bought so much time. Also paired with the failed Jarvan ultimate that pretty much zoned the rest of the team away, this does mean that Big Biceps will tie up the series 1-1 and get that victory.
What a game that was! It went 36 minutes, but it was a back and forth game.
I gotta say, it's a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Yeah, indeed. And I think they did what I was thinking they should do. They just powered through the game. They got this Xayah very fit. He only died twice in that game.
This
But
is
I think
indeed
it's
a very good performance to prove us wrong. I was saying that in game one they were clearly lacking the skills that made a team what it is, and that made a team that made the difference between a team and solo queue. And right now they proved me wrong. So I'm really glad that Big Biceps has woken up on this game.
so you want to hear a fun stat.
Go on.
These two games combined, Unforgiven has 0 kills and 12 deaths
Oof.
as an AD carry.
Well, that's the thing is that also, just to give him some credit at least, he was playing Ashe and Senna, so kind of the utility ADC, I would say.
Yeah,
But I
To
do
an
agree that
extent.
this stat would hurt pretty much anyone in the game. So yeah,
yeah, we're gonna have to see if Legacy is I don't know, maybe a little bit of a troll, maybe just slightly with the Garen mid. We want to see if they will get back on the serious horse and play to
Yeah.
their strength on the third game that is about to happen.
I really do not get what happened this game specifically, because I don't feel like Nocturne has been doing that much with the paranoia. Like he hasn't done too many catches. He sure was an annoyance, but nothing too impactful in that game. So I'm wondering what has gone wrong in Legacy compared to the last game, where everything felt so coordinated, everything felt so mastered.
I'm pretty sure
And-
Legacy just too early on, to be honest. They threw pretty hard. They gave Nocturne 3
Yeah.
kills, they gave Olaf an easy lead. Even though they pulled off a nice gank on top lane, but that turned really, really fast. The second, they also lost that bot lane trade early on, so Ashe didn't have prio anymore. Like, yeah, a lot of
even
early
before
things
that
going
Drake,
down.
You know, like even before that Drake, I was surprised to not see any more proactivity on the side of Legacy, because I have seen the enemy the jungler of Legacy actually go into the river, and his mid laner would be there and back up. They also had the mid lane priority in that game, but they never used it compared to how well they managed to use the bot lane pressure in the previous game. So I'm kind of wondering how this has happened. Maybe it's just bad game, that's it. But so quite surprising nonetheless.
Now we are just waiting for game number 3 to go down. As it's a best of 3, boys, you know, 1-1 tie will not give us the result we wish for. So we need to see those guys battle it out once more. And then we shall know who is victorious over the other one. We saw two very one-sided games, I must say, even though Legacy had pulled up a bit, put up more of a fight in the second game than Big Biceps did in their first loss. So definitely a feisty one. So let's see if they can pull it through into the game number 3. And maybe Legacy will be triumphing, or Big Biceps will have pulled the reverse sweep. We shall be seeing this in just a few minutes as we wait for these teams to load in and get ready for game number 3.
And according from game number 1 and 2, I'm fairly convinced that these two teams do have the ability to compete for that third game. Like I was just like I was convinced in game 1 that that Legacy would take the best of 3-2-0, but now we have evidence that this is actually anyone's game to take. So that leads me to wonder: are these guys now that the whole series is on the line, are these guys gonna be? What are we gonna see in the draft? Are we gonna see some more experimenting, or are we gonna see a composition that maybe that is maybe a bit more about older picks, or maybe more reliable values on the lanes?
I think if anything, we're gonna see Olaf must be number 1 priority in that final ban and begin phase. Either it gets banned or it gets first picked, because it just seems that Olaf is just wrecking through these games, no matter which side it's being played on.
Yeah, this is one of the best jungler right now, if not the best actually. I'm trying to think of another jungler who would do his job, but can't really think of any, because you have to match the clearing speed of Olaf with the ganking power and the priority that this guy has on a 1v1 in the river. I'm kind of thinking of Vi, but the thing is that a lot of junglers who are playing in team disregard Vi because she hasn't been meta for a long time, and so there are lots of players who actually don't play her that much, and picking up a champion just because of this patch is not something that a lot of players like to endorse. So I feel like Vi is not gonna get prioritized that much, though. In amateur play, we did see a lot of Vi in previous leagues, and in the past, it's like one of those genres that since it's a solo queue pick, you can still see it as well. So I do expect to see maybe some, maybe Ola, maybe Vi, maybe Hecarim as well can be an answer to. Hecarim as well can be an answer to Olaf. Ban also can be an answer to Olaf.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that could happen. We're gonna have to see how it goes. As on game 3, go back into game 1, it is Legacy on the blue side. and Biceps on the red side. So gonna have to see how the bans are affected by the order of the teams.
I do think that if Big Biceps leaves Senna open yet again, Legacy are gonna be very happy to take her away and to lock her in. Because for now, Legacy was the only team to ever pay attention to Sona in the drafts, so we're gonna have to see whether or not Big Biceps ban her away. Also have to watch for the Akali, the Kiana. That's still gonna get banned. I'd also like to see whether or not Big Biceps will be sticking to their 3 comfort bans of Raven, Kiana, and can't remember what was the third. I think it was Rise though, yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wanna say yes.
Any sort of adaptation in the draft?
There we go. Standings have been updated as well. For those watching live on stream, there has been 2 games already played as we jump into the champion selection, with the first ban being Quiana from the side of Legacy.
It would actually be very funny if Nocturne would get banned.
I don't think that's gonna be the case. It's not gonna get picked. Surely not.
Well,
Surely Mickey
That
is
guy
not.
has 100% win rates
No.
in the league.
Okay, so yeah, just to keep it with the normal bans, I'm just gonna ignore that for now, as so Heimerdinger gets banned out from Dacier, followed up by Kiana, and now a Xayah response coming up from Legacy. I think it's a well-deserved ban.
Yeah, Xayah definitely was such a safe response to the poke bot lane of Legacy in the previous game. You know, like poke these days is doing really bad in the meta. So if you want to go for a poke bot lane, you have to take away all of the safe options first. That are the Morgana, the Xayah, the Tahm Kench as well, and you got to make sure that there's no pick that can deny poke from you. So obviously Ashe Zyra going into Xayah being one of the at the same time one of the safest bot lane, able to soak in a lot of pressure, and also able to do so much. And Senna again sleeping through the bans of Big Biceps. Now,
Yeah, it was kind of surprisingly, it was the Shen that was the final ban, or the first banning phase for Biceps. I think I think it's just take it off the board.
I mean, after watching that Shen 1v3 in game 1, I can understand why. Also, Stan Uniting is not that it's unpleasant, but having it 3 games in a row is pretty tiring. So I guess
I think I know what happened. So they banned the Shen because they wanted both Senna and Olaf open, so they would pick either one that does not get first picked. This time it was Senna, so Olaf gets picked right away.
And also, you have to mention that they do get the Rise pick, which is a very important one as well. And this kind of draft leaves so many good champions open for selection that getting the first pick just means that you get to pick the best champion in the game at the moment, but then you leave the second and third best champions open. And that means Rise and Olaf are gonna be on the side of Big Biceps. Olaf, obviously, the forthcoming had a very good game of Olaf in the game before. And now I'm curious to see what the Rise will be doing.
Is not okay. I was thinking like that's surely not. I mean, Vel'Koz is enough of a curveball, but also to pick up Zac is just completely the ball curve in 180 degrees.
Yeah, going like Zac right now is not that great. The clear speed is so bad. You basically put the nail in the coffin yourself from the inside at this point. So, Jarvan again for our friend
Ooh.
Technocrat. Had a pretty good game of Jarvan. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He showed some big outplay during the game, and specifically thinking of the one where he turns the 1v1 against Nocturne around
Yeah.
between his two towers. That was very impressive of him. Now, Nautilus locked in, that's a pick I haven't seen of for a long time. This Nautilus here, you have to ban away the Kai'Sa, because if this guy is paired with that champion, there we go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough time in the bot lane. And Xayah's already banned. Caitlyn as well. Kai'Sa also. So the three most the three most aggressive champions are off that bot lane. So I'm thinking maybe you want to put that Nautilus elsewhere than support. It is a flex pick in the current meta, and because of the current changes, there's a lot that you can do with the Nautilus in terms of itemization, runes, jungle evolvement also is going to be a big deal since you have Olaf. Olaf can totally help that Nautilus stay in the mid lane or in the top lane.
Is it? Is it the throwing me? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm totally throwing you.
See, in my life,
you.
I've learned to not trust the muscle.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Ornn is going to be back on the Rift for this game. You have to mention also that Vel'Koz doesn't necessarily have to go to the mid lane. He's also a flex towards support position, and Senna Vel'Koz could be a very bullying bot lane if they want to. So you definitely have the choice on the side of Legacy to do whatever you want at that point, just specifying what your composition is going to be centered around. It looks like it's going to be Hull Engage and heavy damage backline with Leona, Jarvan, and now I think you should. I'd like to complete that with another good front line at this point.
Mundo is the ultimate hyper tank. Don't think it's gonna be Mundo. Renekton, so bring out a little bit more damage on that front line.
Yeah, a bruiser to give a bit more damage and also have some lane bully potential, which is also going to be the first occasion of having a look at Renekton without Shojin Spear, the Shojin Spear, which was one of his core item that has been removed recently. So I'm gonna wonder how well Renekton is doing into Ornn, especially since Ornn is a surprisingly high damage champion. Ornn could also go into the support position. So we'll have to wait until 20 seconds to see how this pans out. Now, Vayne being locked in as the ADC is... I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be a very interesting interactions between, like, can you imagine Leona going in, Vayne uses Condemn, and then Nautilus grabs her back in? She's gonna be playing ping pong.
The little pullback system. It's the mechanics like that are really the salt of life, you could say. They're the spice. It gives flavor. It's a nice flavor.
Yeah.
It's not too spicy. It's just perfect on top of the tongue.
The thing is that I have some problem with that draft, because when I look at it, I get the same feeling that I had when I was watching the draft of Game 1. Because you have Senna and Leona, which is quite the assertive bot lane duo, with Leona and Senna having Senna doing the poke. Vayne Nautilus do not have that much of a response to long range poke. And then you also have the all-in potential. Leona brings in some of the resistances and can also prevent the Nautilus from going onto Senna. So I'm thinking you're not necessarily going to have the priority in the bot lane for Legacy, but you're certainly not guaranteed to have it on Big Biceps either. And then mid lane, you have a hyper scaling mage in the Rise playing against the Vel'Koz, which is very good at wave clearing, just like Heimerdinger was. Like, to me, Vel'Koz is kind of like Heimerdinger in the hand of Dazzir. So I'm just getting the same vibe than the game 1 draft, where I feel like both of the carries from Big Biceps are late game oriented, and because of that, the chances of them getting rolled over in the early to mid game are very high. And since Dazzir does have a pushing a wave clearing mage, it does mean that Technocrat will be sure to have the support of his laner whenever he goes into the river. Renekton as well, even though he's laning against an Ornn, so he's not gonna have a clear advantage in that top lane. You still have the pressure and the capacity to push the lane further, a bit further, so that you can roam around. So I'm thinking that if the forthcoming doesn't set the pace of the game with that Olaf and onshore pressure on his lanes, then Legacy is gonna be able to set up the same game plan and the same unbearable pace as the one of game 1.
Yeah, we'll see if game 3 will be like game 1 or if it's gonna be like game 2. Or is it gonna be its own realm where both teams get enough and then there's a sneaky backdoor coming up? Well, don't know. We have to see. In just 25 seconds, we're gonna get into the final deciding game between Connecting Esports Legacy on the blue side this time and Big Biceps on the red side. Just 10 seconds to go.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be looking at the Keystone Mysteries first, if there's gonna be any shenanigans.
Just before the Keystones, you have to notice that there are 4 teleports on this game, on the solo laners as well. So obviously, this game is going to be focused on the rotations and neutral objectives, just like the first 2 were. I'm really curious to see some more aggressive teams if they manage to create a game style that doesn't revolve around neutral objectives. Like I'm thinking of Arctic Team Tundra, for example, or some other aggressive teams were the Radioactive Ducks. I'm thinking of. EG Esports also did a great job at that. So definitely, we're gonna have to see a lot of different gameplay, different styles throughout the first week of the league.
All right, so first pause is being used, and I think it was just a misclick.
Yeah, they're just preparing for the battle line.
You almost got it. You almost got it.
Damn.
It's you. They're drawing the battle line. It's. I know I'm being picky on that, but I made it. I make it. It's my child. It's, I'm nursing it. I'm feeding it. I'm giving it drinks.
Yeah, kind of like when a teacher is like mispronouncing the name of a child in front of its parents. It's like, no, it's not that. It's this. It's not Leviosa. It's Leviosa.
Yeah, but it's nice that both teams are following the script. They are drawing the battle lines.
And as they've been drawn, you can see Olaf did the same thing again, laying down that ward, and then is channeling his recall, get the sweeper, and come back to his camp. I'm a bit disappointed. Though that he's not gonna take the risk of going just a bit further to lay down the wall, so he can actually get some information off of it, because right there, this was just giving him the info that Jarvan is not invading his topside or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like, for example, Ryze and Ornn to go with him to the topside, make sure that he can step forward a bit more.
Yeah, maybe just get an expedition of a deep ward. See what's in the other side.
and now Legacy has traded the information. Laid down 2 wards on the bottom side, 1 on the Tribush, and 1 in the Pixel Bush in the river. This is just to make sure that the Olaf is pathing towards the top side of the map after having cleared his first camps. And then he'll be... then the Legacy bot lane will be able to fully pressure once they have been told that the jungler is on the other side of the map.
Let's see this. There's actually Technocraft from the red buff straight up for the blue buff. I think he's looking for a gank on the top side on Liam, trying to get Key Rider ahead very early on.
Yeah, since Renekton doesn't have Shojin anymore, you want to make him snowball as much as possible. So Jarvan's already there.
Yeah, can he wait? I think he was waiting the flash. Yeah, he just flashes it on, does not go down, and he's the first blood secure for Key Rider.
A very good patience from Technocrat to wait for the flash, then get the combo off, and because of the Conqueror helping you so much with the Renekton, it's just insane how much damages this Conqueror now gives.
Yeah, he wanted to do the same thing as Technocrat, but yeah, it's just hello. It's a welcoming axe. Welcome.
That's how you do in the northern countries of Runeterra.
Yeah, I think it's also a tradition in Sweden.
And you can see as well, like, no real life and Unforgiven are stepping a bit back because they know Olaf is on the bottom side of the on the bottom half of the map, so they will step forward a lot. They just backed up a bit in order to be safe, where in the event that Olaf would come down to that bottom side. So always nice to see players play according to the genres, because most of the time genres are just so disrespected so much in these leagues. Now Olaf investing the bottom side again. You can see he's sitting on the Tribush right now. I don't think he's sitting on a ward. He's not.
No, I think the ward was on the river brush, which he cleared away. No, they got the information.
They do have the information. Jarvan knows how many camps Olaf has cleared, so he should be able to know that his golems are still available.
Yep, quick
But
math.
the thing is though, because Olaf has countered in the bottom half of the map, Jarvan is not really willing to go there. And because of that, as soon as he recalled, he actually stepped all the way towards the top side, tried to set up another gank while Olaf doesn't have his flash available anymore. Now, transitioning towards the bottom half, John spots a ward. They just have information. They know all of the laners know how to play. If you take a look, you can see how the top half of the map is clearly in the favor of big biceps right now. Whereas Unknown and Pulu are not stepping forward, just in case Jarvan is here. They know he's on that side.
Yeah, sure. So he's doing well on that lane against the Ryze. He's not. I don't think he's falling behind. Let's just see. Yes, a little bit. Yeah, he's actually holding his ground against the Ryze. So he's performing on that lane. It was his 6th most played last season.
Be a skirmish in the river.
Yeah, Forthcoming gets knocked up with the CC, and there's even more knock up. Ignite is burning. I don't think that is enough damage to get the kill onto him. No, it wasn't. But they do get some summoners out of that. As K-Rider, he's going ham onto Liam. Can he get the kill? Yes, he can. Liam already 2 deaths within 6 minutes on that lane, and now Inferno Drake, full legacy.
Yeah, Infernal for Legacy, they get the Drake, they get 2 kills off of the... they get 1 kill off of this action as well on the other side of the map. And now Renekton should be able to get a plating off of that, so it's really win-win situation for these guys. A nice amount of gold now on that Renekton. He's going to be able to back away, get the Tiamat, and at this point, that game is really going to shift in the favor of Key Ladder. Even though Ornn is like really pain in the ass, because you know that guy likes to build a lot of armor with the Iceborne Gauntlet, the Bramble Vest is really good on him as well. Looks like he's first going to go for the Baramiciner into the Sunfire Cape build. Just giving him a bit more.
Oh. Yeah, real life a little bit overcautious. It actually pulls the ulti from Rise as well, but the miss I think is keeping. Now there it is. It's just at the edge.
Just out of range. And Rise doesn't manage to land the Runic Prison, so sadly for them, all of this for just the Leona Flash.
With the first back, they got Tiamat and a Kindle Gem picked up by Keylighter on that Renekton. That is looking very, very strong.
Yeah. So as I was saying, Honest the champion that likes to just stand his lane and not get that much behind. Obviously can do much if you're against Renekton, and Jarvan is getting like quite present in the top side of the map. But since he's going, oh hold on, Noxus looking for trouble.
Yeah, forthcoming now also come down for a gank, and they're doing a lot of damage onto the Leona. He's not in the miss, he's not untargetable, and I know he's gonna get the kill. They don't get the kill onto Pooh, and that is a kill for Biceps.
And forthcoming Ray trying his best to make a getaway for his team.
Oh, Jazer's also coming up down from mid right now. He just chooses to back off. No vision on that jungle, minus that ward that I think he just placed behind his own rep buff. Well,
Yeah,
still,
you do not want to check that that bottom half tower, that bottom half jungle. You know that Olaf has been hanging in here for like most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And as the Vel'Koz, if you meet him, you're pretty much dead because you're immobile. You can't really stop him from rushing towards you with his Ragnarok. So obviously, quite a wise decision from the Vel'Koz to just wall and go and then back off. But that does mean that there will be no response to that bottom play. And yeah, so what I was saying was that William wants to.
Oh, was that No, it's just forthcoming has snuck his way into the Algov.
Yeah.
I think they want this lane pushed out so they could get a proper gank. But meanwhile, Kiryu once again engaging on the Liam on the turret. But with the help of Technocraft, he is able to secure the kill. That is now 3 deaths on that top lane. Oh, just not able to get the blade in.
Yeah, and the teleport is available on the side of Liam, so it's gonna be dangerous to try to get to try to go for it. There we go.
Yeah, I think he got some health back with the Q on the minions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no threat of a kill right there. But yeah, it's just for the first 10 minutes of the game, this has been the least bloodiest match so far on this series. As both teams just showing a lot of caution. The one in Shadow actually came too. I think it was just a preemptive one to give a shield.
Right now,
Ooh,
already going for the damages.
Oh yeah, Kiryu engages onto Miku. They get the kill. He gets popped, but they will be able to get one back onto Kiryu. That's a lot of shutdown gold money going over the forthcoming. And Technograph, he's looking to escape. He should be fine unless the hook connects. No, he just forces the flash and gets over the wall.
Roy was escaped by him, but this this huge chase means that Big Biceps will not be able to tag the Rift Herald, and instead they will just have to back off while Legacy is laying down the path for the Ocean Drake that's about to spawn, and also.
Oh, Rise! Yeah, Rise teleported back down, but the Mist is keeping Unforgiven safe. Ignite now burning onto the Vayne, but they can't quite get the kill. Jacer has to also join the fight, but with no life disintegration ray available, they can't get the kill.
And the problem of this race is that Unforgiven, No Real Life being way too low means that they've now completely lost whatever pressure they had onto the Drake. It would be a great time for Big Biceps to actually start it, because then there would be no response available for Legacy. Looks like this will not be the top priority right now.
Oh, that was very close, that recall.
Not expecting Leona to recall here, huh?
I was, there's nobody here, surely not. Oh wait, there is. Go away. This guy, he's got that. Kind of like that.
Are you
But-
trying to imitate On now? Go away.
So Ocean Dragon gets picked up, so that is either cloud or mountain terrain.
Yes, and the mountains rise. Now, mountain is going to be a huge advantage for the composition of Big Biceps. Usually, it's not that much impactful. Like unless you have a catch composition. In that case, you have less space to move around. It's pretty much the opposite of what I said about the Infernal. But the thing is that you have Vayne and Ornn and Nautilus. So all of these champions are very happy with having an additional terrain onto which they can land Searing Charge or Condemn, you know?
Oh, nice dodge. Going by
And
the
so
alcohol.
Flash line.
Oh, he's over there, sure he's gonna be dead. Mickey gets the kill on the Unforgiven.
Yeah, you can't really do much when that Nautilus is rushing towards you. And being in those alcoves pretty much means death when it comes to Vayne, you know? Like, if you're sitting in there, it makes it so easy to land down that Condemn as well. She's gonna have a very good time. She's gonna have a very good time if she's being paid jungle attention. That's why you can see Olaf has been spending so much time on that bottom side.
Yeah, 13.5 minutes, third lane is about to fall, and the going is very close. It's just 600 in advantage to Legacy, who are looking to get a fight onto Unknown, possibly. Dawning Shadow comes through, and Dazer is gonna get the kill on the pool. And I think, yeah, Unforgiven did get the assist.
Yeah, a bit of a questionable teleport from Key Ladder, but never mind. They still get one kill off of it. The thing is that this Renekton was supposed to snowball a lot, but eventually didn't really pay off past the 2 kills he got in lane. So that's why Olaf spending a lot of his time on the bottom side of the map was not that much of a
Vayne.
problem.
Oh, gets knocked up, gets stunned up, and real life. He's gonna have to get the kill. Unforgiven. Still without a kill this series.
No real life, but a very real death for Unknown. What a perfect chain CC! That was really beautiful to see. Unknown couldn't move the moment that the flag and run was laid down.
So it's perfect timing as well. Techno just walks into the drivers and is like, why, hello.
If I go in, then. So
What do my eyes spy? It is a Vayne.
yeah. Now Paul is going to try and defend that tier 2.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of damage. Is this gonna be it? Unforgiven gets a kill!
Woo! This is the first game in his series for now. And strangely enough, it's not in the first game that we see a kill on Unforgiven, but finally he gets it. Everyone
Ignite,
deserves his moment of glory, you know?
Ignite was burning on Pooh. I was just expecting him to get the one shot, and then the Ignite just ticks him off, and no real life would got the kill.
That would have been sad. I think I would have cried.
No, it's funny. It's funny. So I think Unforgiven. He's Grandmaster, isn't he?
It's all fun and stuff until the ADC retires. Anyway. Now, Legacy is going on to that Rift Herald. We are sitting at 15 minutes, so that does mean there will be no respawning Herald on this game, though.
Oh. Yeah, Solar Eclipse comes down onto the Rise, but they can't follow up, but instead they follow up onto the Pooh. I real life, he still wants, he gets the stun on the Miku. But
I
the
don't
rest
know
of his
that
team...
Nautilus is like really tanky, all of the true damages just from the ignite, just from the Velcors are enough to take him down in an instant.
Well, I'm almost getting the turret. I think one more wave and he'll get it. He's not having a great game. 0-3-1. He's keeping up his CS at least, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah, the thing is that this guy is 0-3-1. Renection is 2-1-3. Jarvan 3-0-4. Like Legacy is kind of dictating the pace of the game right now, and they're having a pretty good game, mostly because, again, the carries of Big Biceps in this game are very late game oriented. So you're gonna be at a disadvantage whenever you take those skirmishes. Just like right now, you're trying to start the Drake, but you know that you actually do not your carries do not deal nearly as much damages as that of Legacy.
The Mountain Dragon gets started, half hell by Biceps, and now Legacy come in, looking for Pooh. They get the kill onto him. Desert goes down with the flash of Olaf. He's raining down damage. Unforgiven flashes away. Can he get the kill? He survives but doesn't get the kill. Nice heal comes up. Keep Technocrat alive, but that is a double kill for the Vayne, who gets rooted up.
Well, I say you'd be at a disadvantage unless Vel'Koz is sitting in the first line. So obviously, the caster curls like to
I don't think there's
get a spanking.
Yeah, Ornn also TPing down onto the Mountain Dragon, but the jungler is still alive. He has might available, I think.
Yeah,
That
they
is
don't want
forcing
to-
them back.
They don't want to try it without the fourth calming.
No, it's just seeing what Pooh does. He's not that crazy. No, he's just sitting there waiting to see if he can get anything.
Because
no.
of that, the Mountain Drake will eventually go to the way of Legacy. So that Mountain Drake is going to have a lot of value actually, because Leona, Jarvan, Renekton, they're all going to go for at least some amount of AD.
Mhm.
And if you pay attention to the enemy team, there's a lot of physical damage in there. There's a fair amount of magical, but also a lot of like mostly a lot of AD damages. Ryze shouldn't be able to free DPS with all that all the crowd control on the enemy team. So itemizing, you can go for some magic resistance, but there's no need to go for like two MR items. And because of that, these mountains, like the mountains, are actually huge for this composition, especially if they are able to stack it that much. And because there are still two left for them to grab,
Ooh.
those
Nice.
24% bonus armor and MR are just gonna make all of them so tanky.
Killjoy could be. He's got a little bit condemned, keeping distance from the Vayne. Meanwhile, Western the Legacy wants to engage onto the Liam, but he flashes away. Killjoy is now on the wrong side of the map. He's gonna get collapsed on. Unknown is going to pick up the kill. Legacy can't get anything back.
Yeah, Legacy are not that much happy with what just happened. They do get the tier 1 tower, but that one was doomed to fall anyway, so it's not really a payback.
Cool.
I feel like they
Cool.
could have forced maybe the Baron at that time.
Perhaps. I mean, they just forced forthcoming away. Could be an. I agree. I come to a conclusion that I agree.
And so, right now, there's still no significant advantage. So these guys are like, it's still opt for a decisive move to make up for the game. And since you have the Realm Warp with the Ryze, you also have that teleport available. Ornn is 150 seconds away from his. So there's a lot you can do in order to make the game shift. And Vayne is slowly getting to a point where soon she will want to teamfight. She has already the BRK and the Ginzu, and with this on hit build, she's gonna hit like crazy on the very tanky front line of Legacy.
Yeah.
And the combined damages of Rise and Vayne are more than enough to deal with squishy carries like the Senna and the Vel'Koz. So eventually she's gonna be like one huge threat. The thing is that as long as you do not buy QSS, I do not consider Vayne to be that much of a threat in those team fights, because the amount of CC on the Legacy composition is just huge. Like adding up all of the CC score, you might come up to like something like 9 or 10, which is huge. Given the average composition has about 5 or 6. So basically, if you or unless you face check,
this is kind of slowing down the feel of the match, and it's gonna come down to a pick, which came Legacy's way, who walking straight in with basically on his own men.
Yeah, and right now I'm happy to see that Legacy is finally tagging on the tier 2 tower with the Nautilus being down. And
yeah, now finding Olaf now. Ragnarok is burning. Geysir gets the kill. That's a second death in a row. That's gonna be
and the jungler is down. So that's gonna be the Baron. All your carries are alive, and onto it, the Renekton is pushing down that bot lane, has the TP available, but there's no need to blow it yet. Meanwhile, look at the Drake, however. The big biceps are already trying to get something back.
Yeah, but Curator sees it. He knows that they are going for it, so I think he's there to delay it, so buys Legacy enough time.
Yeah, meanwhile, that would be a Drake against a Baron. But obviously, the happier in that situation will be the Baron, because remember that the base is still standing and closed. So that Baron has a way more value than that magic resistance. That magic resistance and armor that
Okay.
got themselves.
So a Twin Shadows pickup by Geysir on non-glacial augmented champion. What do you make of it?
Well, I do not mind actually, because you do not need that much damages on your side. You already have plenty, and the thing is that you have a lot of CC to place. Like imagine sending out the Twin Shadows, and then the solar eclipse comes through on the slowed down champion. If it allows for an engage, the value is immeasurable.
Oh,
Speaking of engage,
Liam, is he the third man? The third man in a row that's caught off guard from Biceps, and I'm not exactly sure. I don't think Biceps were ready for this slow-paced game.
yeah, I don't think either. The thing is that they kind of drafted to us this way, but the vision game on this one has been so lacking. Like, just take a look at the map, right? This cast just happened on the bottom side of the map, and
not the one that's called out. Life Disintegration Ray comes down, but the depth shot is gonna knock Vel'Koz out of it, but he forces the flash.
Yeah, as the base is gonna be teared open.
Oh, engage. On to Miku. That's got Unforgiven. Doubles his kill count.
And now you might consider ending of the game.
More damage, but the rest of Legacy, they're so low, they have to kill Vayne. They get the kill onto Vayne. And now only the tank surviving. Who goes down? Only Liam surviving with 4 members still alive.
And now...
now it is going to be an ace. Can he get the kill back? No, Geysir is tanking the turret. They're letting Liam survive for now. But there you go, that's an ace. And just like that, Legacy close out the series.
That was a beautiful game. What's astonishing to me is that all of the teams that have won today on the blue side of the map, I just find it strange. I don't really know if it's because of the first pick or because counter picks have less value. I also believe that red side hasn't been that much exploited on these 3 games. Like the counter picks haven't been quite there. But yeah, very good series from these 2 teams. Like the game 1 was a stomp. I have to give you that. The second game was a beautiful performance from Big Biceps as well. And Legacy had a bit of an oopsie here and there, but also considering how the Nocturne pick was factored in, you still have to give a lot of credit to Big Biceps. And now that third game was really back and forth until I believe the 20-minute mark or something, when the Baron finally spawned on the map. So you can't really say that one team was clearly dominating the other, but eventually Legacy makes it to the top.
That it is Technocraft going 4-0-12, Jaser 4-1-7, having great performances throughout the series. And I think if we are to give out an MVP,
Unforgiven for getting his first kill.
Yeah.
that
I'm gonna give my MVP to Unforgiven because he has increased his skills by an infinite factor between game 3 and game 2 and 1. So.
Actually, guys, all fun aside, let's see if we can get some of the winning teams or losing teams actually in here, like one of their members. We can do a small interview, even though we don't have an interview scene right now because it's in the making. Shout out to Gorby, waiting for that one. Now, if anyone of these teams is ready and on stream and wants to talk a bit with us about the game, just answer a few questions. There's going to be friendly banter. Be careful, you might burn. Besides that, we are all here in a good mood, just trying to entertain the stream and yourself. So feel free to hit me up in Discord. I'll tag you in a second, and then we will be going over some questions. So you guys can think of some questions while you tell the stream if your predictions have actually come true.
Actually, before I get to that, I had a small intro in mind, if you don't mind me.
Go ahead, man.
Now, it is time to place the chairs and brew a nice coffee of chat in the interview room.
That is not already set up. Let's go. Anyways.
I do it. It's mine. It's nice.
Okay, that was great.
I believe in the rule of deeps.
There we go. I'm gonna tag Big Biceps and Legacy. Anyone up for an interview? And then we shall see if we can get some people in here. We don't bite, boys. Don't worry. All friendly sports. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no worries, Stalin Chan. We are always out here. Sorry again for Mixer acting up weird. We looked into that already. We got some solutions ready. So next stream is going to be clean on all 3 platforms that we are streaming. Right now we are streaming on YouTube, on Twitch, and of course on Mixer. So make sure to check these out. We will also be checking into the alerts so that the alerts on the 3 platforms work, not just the ones from Mixer, because the alert is definitely something you should see. It's glorious looking and it has a very, very interesting sound. Looking at people here responding to my call for an interview, we got Dash saying he might be able to join us, and then who's this? That second tiebreaker, we'll answer that one in a second. Then about that, okay, Dash, I think it's your turn. I'm sorry. Come on up. Stealing you to our lovely... Wait, we're all the way down. Oh my god. There we go. On air. Hello, Dazzy boy. How are you doing, my boy?
Hey, all good, man. You know, caffeined up, ready to go.
Caffeined up, ready to go.
Raise your dogger, Daxter.
Yeah!
Yeah, I'll be updating the standings while these two guys will get every last information out of you, beginning with Unforgiving being killers in the first two games, over to that insane Baron steal, and of course your mental throughout these games, because I know that's always a fun factor. So let it be heard here on stream. Grang, your first question for this man, the mid laner of CE Legacy.
Well, I think the question that is on everyone's mind.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Are you gonna
no.
ask him about the Twin Shadows?
No, actually, no.
That
Okay,
was one I
go
expected,
on.
to be honest.
The Garen.
Uh-oh.
So, be honest, was that serious pick? Or
Well, it's a
troll?
pick. It's a pick that we tend to utilize during certain matchups where it's like a pretty good counter pick. The problem is I mean, Garen is a pretty simple champion to play, but it's not necessarily something in my champion pool, but it's a serious pick for us. Like we don't troll around, you know.
Was that as the game was progressing, you were kind of falling behind more and more on that game, but still the little bit of shining light on the team was that Garen. Was that any more on the, let's say, during the mid game? Was there any more plans to, okay, you are going to be our carry, you are going to win this game for us?
Well, that was originally the plan, but the problem was we couldn't agree to how we would engage with me being tanky or Shen ultimate, etc. So because of this hesitation, we really struggled to actually execute our game plan, which just led to us struggling and just losing to late game because we get outscaled.
All right. I also have a question, not specifically regarding the Garen game, but it's more well, the thing is that we saw you playing 3 very different champions, and these kinds of champions are quite different from what we've seen before preseason. So I want to know, how did your team approach the preseason? How did you guys adapt your gameplay, maybe your champion pools, your game strategies? How much did you experiment? How much did you train since the preseason has come out? Do you often scrim all together? Tell me about it.
All right. Well, we are a team that has been formed for a couple of months now, and we tend to practice together quite often compared to other teams I've been in the past. Usually, we tend to find 2 to 3 scrims throughout the week and flex games, as well as solo duo games to increase communication within bot lane, junglers, top lanes, etc. Because it's very important to build the communications and decide where to TP, how to move around together, how to gather objective control, things like that. And this is something that we've been working on for a while. It's still, of course, as from the second game, it's not something we perfected. We still have these problems of hesitation, but I feel like it's much better, and I feel like it was very good for us to finally play in a more serious environment.
Okay, we also got a second interviewee coming up here. Is going to be the enemy team actually sending over their mid laner, so we have a mid laner face-off here.
Oh shit, alright.
Welcome, Miku, to the streaming lounge. Mid laner face-off in the interview channel. What's going on? Miku, how are you doing, my man?
Well, not too happy, obviously, after that performance, but not bad. It was really fun.
To be honest, I could say after you picked that Nocturne and you posted in chat that I was indeed an accidental pick and you performed so well, I think you have nothing to worry about. You put up a really good performance indeed, and showed that Dazzy boy who's boss in mid lane.
Dazzy boy, yeah.
Now, maybe Sherlock, you want to ask this guy some few questions about his team, how often they practice, or whatever you think about these games. Let's go.
Yeah, so just like I've been asking Dazzler, I would like to know how much training did you have since the start of the preseason, and how far has your team been experimenting in terms of weird picks, in terms of
Right.
maybe new strategies and champion pool?
So in terms of practicing, I think we have been together for around 3 weeks now. So we haven't been together too long, and we also aren't really a complete team yet because we're still looking for a stable top laner. We're kind
Okay.
of with a temporary top laner right now, which he has like a really small champion pool. So that also ties in with your second question. How much have we experimented? To be honest, we haven't experimented much yet because we're still trying to gel as a team first.
Okay.
So
Speak for
that's
yourself then.
yeah, exactly. Before we start experimenting, so that's our first objective: to play tournaments and just gel as a team before
Okay.
trying to experiment too much. And
And
in
like,
terms
you
of
just Hmm?
how often, like the frequency of our practice, I think it's around like 5 days a week. But we haven't started a strict schedule of scrimming yet or anything like that. So we're just trying to get a top laner first and then get a stable schedule afterwards.
Okay. Last but not least of my questions.
Mhm.
So after having tried it, what do you think of Nocturne Mid?
Honestly, I was quite impressed. I mean, I have played against it before, so I knew kind of what I should be doing. However, I never played against a Garen mid, so that was quite challenging. And as you saw, I entered quite a few 2v2s. I think it's quite strong, actually. I'm a big fan of Kiana, as I'm sure the opponents realized. And Kiana and Talaya in previous seasons, so I'm quite a big fan of mega roaming mid laners. So I quite enjoyed Nocturne. You might see it again in future games, hopefully.
All right. So that's hyping me up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Something to look forward to.
Okay, guys. So obviously, you guys have experienced this league now for the first time. I at least don't remember seeing you guys in any other tournaments organized by us. So I hope you have a more pleasant surprise then and a more pleasant stay for the rest of the tournament, because you guys definitely looked to be able to put up a fight in the last 2 games and definitely to dictate the game. So maybe with the right replacement for the top lane or whatever it might be that you need to fix and to fine tune, you will be seeing that success very soon. At least I am very happy to see that you guys performed today throughout this game. Same for Legacy, of course. It was a very pleasant and entertaining match to watch. Best of luck for the rest of the tournament. Hope to see you guys more on stream. And yeah, same to you, Desi boy. Best of luck to Legacy, and I'll hear and see from you guys later.
Thank you
Alright.
very much. See ya.
Bye. Now, with that, boys, we are actually nearly over the top here, I would say. We had a pleasant stay at this streamer lounge, watching these 3 games happen. Me more in the backseat, then these 2 guys, Grang and Sherlock, having a really fun time, I assume, casting and, of course, spectating these games. Now, GG's to the chat, whoever turned in into YouTube, into Vexa, into Twitch. Make sure to follow us on our social medias. You can see them at the bottom right of your screen. They are going through, and make sure to join our Discord community. And of course, make sure to tune in January when the official season one is going live from this tournament with way many more teams and a lot of more players to come. And stay tuned for more updates. Now, guys, I'll hear from Grang and Sherlock for the last time, and then we will be calling it a night.
Yes, it's been a pleasurable honor to be cast in the very first game on the stream for Connecting Esports, and I'm looking for much more craziness from these teams.
And as of my part, I'm just on the same train as you, Greg. It's also been a pleasure to be again casting with you, and also to be working again with Jason, as we did spend a lot of time together. And we're gonna be back on that train, baby.
Yeah.
See you guys, dear viewers.
Out here pumping out these streams daily. Of course, as soon as we have more teams and more divisions to be streamed and more leagues to be streamed, we will be here daily giving you that content that you're looking forward to. A new beginning that has started very, very nicely, I would say, for myself and also for the rest of you guys. So see you guys next time. Make sure to tune in. And now on to our ending screen. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.